We are here. Someone will tell me the seed from Nicov because I forget. And we are good to go here for the final series in this round. Welcome, ladies and gents. We are here in the final round of 16, and we've got the favorite in the blue here, Hera. Hera has had, by his standards, some shaky rounds. Now, I actually didn't cover any of those rounds because I just simply assumed Hera was going to win them. And he did. But if you watched any of those games, there were some shaky moments. And when he was against Seed 64, Seed 64 Cloud was ahead in every single game. Hera still won 3-0. Next round against Seed 32, Jibbetonk snagged a victory. Nicov now, he's Seed 16. Nicov has played amazing. He has not lost a game yet in this tournament. And Nicov has gone for the Gurjaras here. The map is Graupel. And Nicov is winning the sheep race so far. There's always the sheep around this little circular lake in the middle. And Hera's going to find a couple sheep here as well. And so both players seem to know. That's a pretty basic thing for the start. Hera's trying... Look at Nicov try and cut him off right now. He knows that Hera probably is going to get to those sheep. So now he's trying to skirt out in front of him. And he gets an extra sheep. Not bad. Ah! Okay, he gets the extra sheep. You can only fit 5 in the transport, so... Hera's Lithuanians is a civ we've seen a lot. So if you go Lithuanians, you can dock super early and get the fishing ships out because you don't need to take any food. Just because the extra 100 food. So the sheep will probably be mainly used as scouts for Hera, but I love the start for the Lithuanians. It gives them some nice potential to be able to go feudal age. Nicov, this is different. So, I have seen Gurjaras before, but they have always docked. Nicov is actually going early mill. He's going to load up all of his sheep. This is, of course, unique to the Gurjaras. And so he's going to load up 7 or 8 sheep. That gives you a tiny food trickle. And he's going to most likely just fully skip the dock. Now, I'm remembering a game that Doubt played in the round of 32. And what he did with Gurjaras was he went fast feudal, and then he went for a dock to go for galleys. He killed the opponent's fish, and then Doubt went for scouts. So we'll see. Maybe Nicov does dock a bit later, but I almost don't expect that. And he has missed this sheep for now, so we've got shore fish all around. That mill, of course, makes perfect sense for Nicov. The awkward thing is he doesn't have a lot of scouting compared to Hera because Hera is scouting with some of the sheep. I do find that Hera's position is kind of awkward because he's not in a corner. So he kind of went to the side. Obviously, he could eventually boom to the corner, but if you look at Nikov's potential to wall up and have space back here, I would definitely prefer this position. So advantage to Nicov there, and Nicov is going to go for the dock. Okay. So I guess keep an eye on res collected. The fact that Nicov is ahead in res collected and he hasn't had the 2 fishing ships Hera has is pretty awesome. So that shows that Nikov's start is pretty good. He's practiced that and thinks that being down the workers is more than fine. And then I am assuming we're going to see 1 or maybe 2 fishing ships from this dock as well. Does Hera know that dock is there? He's been really idle. That's interesting. So Hera hasn't even moved his transport ship. He's probably assuming his opponent's going to have fish, but still. And then we got the 2 boars in so far for Hera. Usually the Lithuanians have contested for feudal age for this map. It's just so easy after they get the early fish to then bank up the food again and rush to feudal age. Gurjaras could go Castle Age, and Gurjaras have a really solid late game, just like the Lithuanians. If Gurjaras can get to their Frontier Guard Camels and Elite Chakram Thrower, I think the Lithuanians really struggle. Because 40 Elite Chakrams with some Camels in front, I think Lithuanians would have to go for their trash, but the Chakrams destroy the trash, and then the Camels would probably destroy any Latus or Paladins that are out there. Chat, I'm going to roll with the colors they have. I've seen all the requests for color changes, but I'm going to roll with the colors that they've chosen here. Understand with the flags, it's a little bit awkward, but I think these colors are more than fine for me. So Hera's clicks up. Hera will likely send a couple vills to gold. And he'll probably aim to win water. Could be scouts. But he sees the dock now from Nicov. And that's going to be his target. Nicov also clicks up. And Nikov's going to send villagers over for a lumber camp. And then he's going to need the vills onto gold as well. So Nikov's definitely further removed from the second dock with how this is playing out. But I wonder if he's not, like, it almost makes sense for me for him to do what Doubt did earlier. Like, maybe you stay on one dock and you just make 2 galleys and you don't ungarrison those galleys until you're ready to go kill fish. You hope that Hera overinvests into water and still loses his fish. I think Nicov, I could be way off on this. Okay, I am off on this. Never mind. He's going to go for the second dock. Guys, you know what's an interesting element of the Gurjaras here that we never see utilized? It is one of the most forgotten bonuses in the game because you never see Gurjaras on a map with water. You can garrison fishing ships inside the dock. So, if Hera comes to attack and Hera's faster, and Hera's actually going with galleys now, Nicov could just hop inside of his dock. Now, if he doesn't remember that he can garrison inside the dock, I will be very loud. Because that is actually huge here. Obviously, with any other civ, you just lose your fish to Hera's galleys here. But with the Gurjaras, you should be able to garrison. And here comes Hera looking around, sees the dock. It's going to be galleys from Nicov as well. And game 1, best of 5. Winner here faces Leary in the quarterfinals. And galley numbers out here for Hera as both of these two investing heavily. Now, behind this, you're going to see these mills come up on the shorefish. You do need to have castlage in your near future. Let's see if Hera finds an opportunity for the fish here. See how fast Nicov reacts. He might lose one. Garrison Nicov. Let's go! Let's go! That's so sick. But then he had to eject the galleys, so it got a little awkward. That was a nice save there. The Hera's galleys are kind of stacked on top of one another here. And we see a third dock now from Nicov. So much bigger water commitment for him. And really nice micro for him. He snipes that galley. That's a beautiful save there from Nicov. And look at him block there as well. To stop Hera from sniping the weak galley so he could repair it. The galley here seems like it has a death wish, though, and it does go down. And it's just the early numbers from Hera benefiting him. So really nice opening. Very clean. And guys, anytime you have a favorite, the favorite wants this. Like, the same strategy from both, Hera's going to take that all day. I say this all the time. I really think you need a strategy. Now, you don't necessarily know what your opponent's going to do. Like, maybe he was expecting fire galleys from Hera. But yeah, like, you need to be going for something that is against the grain, that is different, that can match up nicely against their strat. If it becomes just solely an execution game, then I'm going to go with Hera all day in this series. Should be a long series. There's going to be the blacksmith now for Nicov. Nikov's doing the same things we talked about, pulling villagers over to the shorefish. And I've said a million times, I'm not actually convinced that the water is hugely game deciding on this map. Nikov's fish were in the dock a second ago. They hop out, and now he's going to lose them. Needed to stay inside his dock for a little bit longer. I think Nicov should stop making galleys after these 3 and just go kill Hera's fish. Just go kill these 3 fish and just stop there, honestly. I think when you've committed so much to this, you're probably just going to try and win water back. Because that's what players do. But, like, the only time this water is going to be critical is going to be an imp now. After the fishing ships are out of the equation. Again, like, I mean, I don't know. Maybe if Nicov makes a move for the fish, Hera would just move them around. But Hera has fletching already. Nicov the same. And Hera's done a slightly better job with his food eco. He's got the 2 mills up on shorefish. He's transitioned into farms. Mills coming up now for Nicov. Hasn't really added any farms just yet either. Lithuanians do get Cannon Galleon. I don't know if they get Elite Cannon Galleon. Transport ship. I mean, Killing it would still kind of be nice. There we go. Transport ship's going to get sniped. The Hera now knows that Nikov's over there. Doesn't really need the transport ship. And wow, so many galleys. This is interesting. This has been against what the other players have done in the round of 16. We've seen a lot of fast castles. We've seen very little water investment. Both these two, maybe it's almost like sending a message of some kind. And they just want to prove that they can dominate the other in the first game. I really think, I've said it already, just get rid of those fishing ships. Just don't give Hera time with the fish. Hera does a good job saving them. Nicov did misfire there. But now Nicov comes in from the other side, and Nikov's going to get one. And 13 galleys for Nicov, 10 for Hera. Hera clicks up the castle age way faster. Which I think is massively important in the eco long term. Because you would just want TCs on this map, right? You want TCs, you want to get relics. This is usually going imp regardless. Nicov selling some stone, maybe sensing that Hera clicked up because the score dipped. Honestly, it seemed pretty clear. Hera was ahead in score, and then the score dipped because he lost 1,000 resources, essentially. So I think Nicov then immediately picked up on the fact that he needs to catch up in the timing here. And galley war continues. Hera's fishing ships will go down. Hera will still continue to make the galleys. Nicov still has not clicked up to the next age. And it's been a pretty even game so far. Res collected, Nikov's ahead. But Hera's faster to castle age, which I think goes a long way. And there goes Nicov on the way to castle age as well. So no barracks for Hera. Nicov just dropped one. So Nicov may go stable as well to add some scouts for map control. Always important against the Lithuanians because you don't want them to get the relics. And Galley War will continue. Hera is down numbers, but he has the ability to get Bodcanero and War Galley a bit earlier. But gonna be real. I think, like, I'm very surprised they both committed to this many galleys. And Nicov trying to pounce. Got a snipe there from Hera. Beautiful micro. Has some weak ships on the front that Hera will be looking for. And there's the Bodcanero War Galley upgrade for Hera. I think water will still be fairly even. Obviously, Nicov is going to be later to the upgrades, but he's going to have 3 docks versus 1. But I think this is all Hera cares about. Dropping TC number 2, dropping TC number 3. The Lithuanians get the extra food. It's like another reason why you pick them, so you can just boom so easily. And Nicov now is going to dive in close. Now, galleys are faster. They also fire faster, too. So it's actually not unheard of. Look at Nicov. Nicov is down in upgrades. He's down in range, but he just dives in close. And Nicov all over Hera here on the water. And Hera's going to lose all of his ships. Now, does this matter? We'll see. I still think there's some big question marks there. But if they've both gone for it, Hera even went for University to get ballistics. This is nice little momentum here for Nicov at the start of the series. So, Nicov, maybe the superior micro so far. Maybe some of that came down to production. Probably a mix of both. And then Hera will lose all water control. And Hera is probably looking at this university right now like, yikes. Why did I add that? It could have been an earlier monastery to get the relics. He does have a relic here. Nicov goes for TC number 2. Nicov adding scouts on the map. So yeah, like, Nicov has a really nice approach. The main concern I have for him is the land boom. But, you know, in theory, he could add a couple more fishing ships. So he could get up to 4 or 5 fishing ships. He also didn't have to get War Galley, which is really nice. Like, War Galley upgrade's not cheap. So Hera researched that. Oh! Oh, sick demo from Hera. He's going to go for it again, actually. And Nikov's spreading out his ships now. I think if Nicov could take this relic from Hera and then get a scout up here to deny this one, Hera will only have 1 relic in this game, which is a really big deal. And Hera, just 3 town centers, will get relic number 1. Nikov's going to have to work hard, though. There's a lot to do right now. I think I definitely Well, as always, like, the pros just make everything look so easy. So it's easy to oversimplify how things should go when casting this. I played my first Community Cup series last night, yesterday, against Emu Warrior, who you guys will know from chat. And even though Grapple seems like a simple map, it's not. There's a lot of stuff going on. Oh, Emu's in chat. Sorry I brought it up, bro. There's a lot of stuff happening. So Nikov's light cav. I could find some Vills here. Now, Hera has no map control here to start off this first game. He's lost out on water. He'll try a quick wall that fails there. He loses a Vill. Can't really move out. Doesn't really have scouting. Nikov's going to siege push him. What a start from Nicov. Nicov, he mentioned he was really disappointed when he saw the bracket that he would eventually, if he won, of course, the earlier rounds, run into Hera, if Hera won the earlier rounds. Nicov has been unlucky at times, or, you know, had some tough run-ins with Viper early on and stuff as well. But, like, it wasn't just me saying it to keep you guys on the edge of your seats. Like, Nicov has had the better performance so far in Wandering Warriors Cup. And he has looked well prepared. Harris has some catching up to do in this game, but also, you know, in terms of some of the strats. That's the luxury of being the first seed, though. He played against 128 seed, 64 seed, 32 seed. Nicov was up against the 17th seed in the previous rounds. 3-0'd him. And Hera now has Lycav roaming around his base right now. Did just walk past this relic. So he's not paying attention to that, but he might be able to bring that home. I'm really surprised that Nikov's going for Armored Elephants and now Mangonels. I feel like you normally would see a commitment to like one or two of each. But he's still roaming around with the Lycav, has good eco upgrades. Farming eco's looking okay. It's not looking stellar. Resources collected really close. Hera's farming eco's looking great. And this is critical timing. Because Hera wants to drop a castle. He doesn't know he's about to be pushed here. So this stable that's just now producing a scout, this is kind of the warning sign. But Nicov doesn't have a ton with the push right now. Okay, he's going to push the stable. The scout won't do too much here for Hera. Hera needs to drop a castle before this gets worse, in my opinion. The stable's definitely going to fall. Nicov has just killed his own unit. Easy to do when you're attacking this stable like that. And the monk for Hera's going to try and get a conversion on a light cav. Has to back away. Hera's dropping the castle here. Okay, so Hera will protect most of his base. And now Nicov is probably aware that the castle's coming up and will expect the latest to come out. And correct move from Nicov to also add some camels right now. Did Hera get that relic? There was a relic here. I think most likely it's on the way back home. I do not know where it is. We'll keep an eye on how many relics Hera has. Hera adds a knight, trying to take out the Mangonel. And he's not... No, he is going to get the kill. So I think, like, Nicov, had he committed to getting... Okay, apparently Nicov got the relic. Wow, that's sick. Okay, so Nikov's committing to a lot of aggression. This push, though, feels like it's probably not going to accomplish much now. You took out the stable. Hera will now have to get bloodlines and husbandry out of a new stable. But now, you're probably not going to accomplish too much if this is the only thing you have. Nicov would love that conversion. He gets it. But Hera can convert the latest right back. Nicov will just run away. So Nikov's got 3 relics, potentially 4 if he ever sees this. He did TC the north as well. And what a close game, guys. Someone says Nicov seems under stress a bit. It's high aggression, crazy tourney Age of Empires. Yeah. You think everyone's just chilling when they play competitive AoE? Just such a relaxing experience. No, it's very high stress. Hera has had a simpler game plan in terms of just sit back and boom. So it may seem as though Hera's also not under, great deals of pressure and stress, but there's a lot of focus and intensity going on right now. I will say when you watch Nicov play, though, you can kind of tell, like, Nikov's a little bit more human than some of the other guys. You could definitely tell the stress of the situation is there. I think, like, it's such an interesting start to the series because Nicov has the map control. Nicov is doing some of the small things that I think are needed to have success on this map, like the outposts around the sides, buildings on the front to get vision control areas of the map. Oh, wow. Hera's actually come back on water now. That's interesting. Again, I cannot stress to you how I really don't think that's hugely important right now. There's only 2 fishing ships out here. So, yeah, what I'm getting at here is I love how Nicov has played the majority of this game. But then Hera is just booming like a madman, and you know he's not going to die. You know he's not dead. Behind all this, just adding TCs. Very nice castle position for him. And ships going to continue to engage against each other here. Imp on the way now for Hera. So we saw yesterday a player try and stone wall, but you can't wall on the ice. So the units just ran through. And so I'm wondering now, like, what is Nikov's plan to defend with his base? Like, I guess camels in defense would make a lot of sense. But I do feel like a castle here would really benefit him. He's clicked up to Imp as well. Hera's economy setup is incredible here. And that's why you need that push. If you're going to do it, you need to commit to 3 mangonels. And it needs to be continuously snowbally. If you're not fully committed to it, you might as well not even do it. But then again, what that did do is that kept Hera out of here. Like, Hera can't run out here with eco. So I think it's worth it in some ways. Frontier guards. An insanely good upgrade. It adds extra armor to the camels. So that would be the first thought that comes to mind for me from the Gurjaras here. The second thought is chakrams. Look how late Hera is with blacksmith techs. There's not a lot to be critical of with Hera's gameplay, obviously. But if there was one thing that I'd say, because this is a theme for me, he's always very late with techs. Like, it's not like he hasn't been floating res. I would say double blacksmith at this point and bring in techs a little bit faster. But he's just sitting back like, come on, come and kill me. And this is a boom map. So on this map, as we see Nicov still trying to defend from water. Now, this water does become more important. Nikov's defended very nicely. Hera makes it to Imp faster than Nicov. Nicov even getting treadmill crane. And Nicov will complete this castle. So already we might have Hera thinking about a tread push. And Nicov may do the same. Nikov's going to drop his own castle there. Hera just has a couple pikes. Might not actually be enough. It's not the biggest army from Hera to defend this castle. But there's a lot going on elsewhere. So I think maybe the engagement will be fine. The upgrades aren't great on the camels either. Nikov's got a Treb on the way. So does Hera. A lot of the fights are going to be happening in this location. Hera does get fast fire. So I don't know if the Gujaras actually get fast fire. But Hera may reclaim water. And Nikov's going for even more Trebs. So big Treb push. Having access to stone right now is huge. Nikov's got 21 on stone. But Hera has 1,000 stone in the bank. So I'm not sure, like... Oh, this is such an important location. Hera's just going to build castles, make halbs, make trebs. He's not even going to make a single lattice. Which is honestly quite smart, because he knew camels would be out there. I'm sure you can make the lattice once the camels are out of the picture, right? But both of these teams, both of these civs really rely on their castles for their unique units. Like, I think it's absolutely essential for the Gujaras to have chakrams in this matchup. Hera accidentally attacked a boar. All right, so there he goes. Kills the boar. Boar almost won. Hera will lose his castle. Hera has 160 vills right now. He doesn't have a lot of population space for military. But Nicov is catching up to him in that regard. So big booms from both. This is a good castle from Hera. He also, with the water control now, is going to add cannon galleons. So this is probably where Hera's mind was at when he went for the late Castle Age fires. Because Imp is now where the water is hugely important. And Nicov, he's lost most of his docks here. So Nikov's going to have to go land, which means he has to avoid the shoreline, which is very difficult to do. Nicov does have a couple ships here, actually. I kind of forgot about that. So it will be hand cannons and then bombard cannons for Nicov. And then here, Hera is going to slowly try and treb push this castle. It'll be really tough for Nicov. He's just going to build up buildings now to defend from this as well. A couple hand cannons go down because he was probably distracted. He really needs bombard cannons. And Hera's castle's getting pushed over here now, but he did clear up the shoreline. It's looking like advantage Hera. I mean, he's max pop, and he's pushing the left side. He's castling again. And here, he has bombard cannons and trebs in defense. And Nicov really desperate to take that castle down because he doesn't have water, and he's going to lose one treb. He's going to lose two. He's going to lose all of his trebuchets, which means the push stalls. And then the push gets even stronger for Hera on this side. Again, no armor upgrades for Cav at all from Hera. He's just got 8 trebs. Crazy amounts of trebs. It's not like the Lithuanians have any like treb bonuses either. Just wants to win the castle war. And this castle from Nicov is one that he committed to building way before he knew he was going to lose those trebs. Listen, if there's a positive for Nicov right now, it is that there is stone everywhere on this map. So he will get more castles. Hera can't push him with anything but like trebs and cannon galleons right now, honestly. Hera does not have any army to raid. Hera, both players are actually very light on stone, but Hera's not actually mining any stone. And now Nicov is mining stone, but needs to buy some to try and repair this. And now Nicov needs to repair his treb as well, but he's looking on the other side. And Nicov! This is huge. He's looking over here. Oh my god, and Hera's trebs! Hera's trebs! Snipe 2 cannons. The thing, you can't really out micro trebs because they're a bit inaccurate, so it's very hard to know where to dodge. We'll see if Hera keeps his castle up now. If Hera can hold this position now, it's hard for me not to have a lot of faith in him, but... And Nikov's still kicking. I do notice Nicov never puts on auto farm. It looks like he just did. But he doesn't have his farms auto reseeding. And so he's down to 23 on food. He does snipe Hera's treb, though. Hera's castle might go down. Hera just lost all of his halbs. And now Hera's going to lose a bombard... Well, he won't lose a bombard cannon. Remember, they're doing a million different things. Fixing their economies, pushing out to the sides. What a game. Nicov 4 relics. Hera's going to go Skirm. He's going to go Halb. So he's just going to bank gold forever. Can he spend his gold with the Lithuanians on the units you typically go for? Another treb down for Hera. Like, what is Hera's army going to be? I think full trash dies to elite chakram thrower, which makes the castle count so important. Nicov only having a castle on either side does not make elite chakram thrower very realistic. Full trash, obviously, much better against camel and hand cannon. Hera, I think, deleted that castle. He's going to rebuild it now. And that will stay up. And Hera loses, or sorry, snipes Nikov's bombard cannon there. Beautiful play from Hera, just the slow creep. Slow creep forward here. It's been all about the castles for him. With that many trebs, he'll definitely take out Nicov. Nicov just spent 1,000 gold to get more stone to repair. And now Nicov is starting a push on this side. Whoa, okay. And Hera's going to lose his castle over here, most likely. But that means Hera needs to do some damage now. Like, this is all open. This is an opportunity for Hera to really Get some stable units out. Try and raid. Walk forward. Build another castle. Like, and what a crazy game. Nicov is his 2 castles on the left side of the map. Hera will have... If he loses this castle, he'll have 4. So he's got 5 right now, which is crazy. And Hera's economy seems to be on top right now. And it's definitely going to be on top if he can get into all of this. I mean, this is completely unprotected. Nicov needs to push the left. Even if Hera loses the left right now, in like 5 minutes, it's already amazing. Because the longer he holds this left side, and Nicov doesn't have defense for his side, the better it is for him. And Hera primarily spending his gold on siege right now. But I think he could start to think about Latis now that there's going to be less camels on the field. Castle down for Hera. Elite Chakram Thrower. Upgrade on the way for Nicov. But he's got such an interesting army count. 16, 15, 14. He doesn't really have a lot of any one unit. And this has to be a problem, right? This map control from Hera is ridiculous. He can get more stone for even more castles. There's farmers. There's lumberjacks around. Like, Nicov still kind of has to push because if he doesn't, he dies. But then he also has to defend this because if he doesn't, he dies. It's not an easy spot to be in. But, I mean, Hera could be in a similar position before you know it, I guess. He has a lot of eco here. And these Chakram Throwers, maybe they could swing over here. Nicov, if he makes his own bombard cannons from this siege workshop and can hold the line, it's going to be tough. I think Hera sees the castle. But if he can do that, maybe it's okay. Hera's castle's now down as well. Like, both players basically are losing a side. But Hera has the potential to kill faster because of the Trebs. I think maybe the Chakram Throwers need to go home for Nicov. Yeah, and he agrees. He's prepping to repair with everything he can. Maybe you don't, though. Maybe you just build a castle even further back, and you don't sink stone into repairing that. Now Hera is starting to lose his TCs. Nikov's going to go castle here. So he says, screw my people. I'll bring the people with me. Wow, I thought for sure he'd build a castle like in this back corner or something. But no, he says, I'm going to lose that anyways. We will not. Now Hera's going to build another castle. What is... what is happening? They are both simultaneously pushing into the opponent's base. Oh god, that bombard cannon's so important. Repair it, Nicov. Okay, he'll keep it alive. If Hera's not careful, he will lose all of his army to these Chakram Throwers. These things are no joke. I know he's a bit faster with the Lithuanian, so he can get out of there, but look what the Chakrams can do. Hold on, folks. Can Nicov still do this? He'll deny this castle. He's pushing over here. Very easy to make mistakes and misclick your bombard cannons and hand cannons into a castle. Hera's going to lose another castle. Nikov's holding the line. Nicov gains more space. He gains more gold. He gains access to more stone. Hera's producing from some of these buildings every now and then, which is making life awkward. He is to scramble home with trash, which could work. Hera's castle still hasn't gone up. Man, if these Chakrams can get to the side of the Trebs, they can kill them all in a couple volleys. And Hera's going to lose this castle foundation. Nicov will go in for those Trebs. Watch this, guys. Watch this. This is the only unit that can really do this. I guess Scorpions could too. Come on, Nicov. Get to the side of them, because you do pass-through damage. Get to the side. Well, this is the best he can ask for with everything else going on. He kills 3 of the Trebs. That's really good. But on the other side, he's starting to lose his Trebs. And he did take out Hera's castle. So Hera still really not investing into any standard cavalry here. I'm surprised. Like, I would like to see... I'm not surprised to see Hera making Hussar. But Nicov, you don't know if Nicov really has the setup to go camels anymore. I would really like to see the occasional Latis. But I guess the safe approach, especially when there's not castles over here for Nicov, is you can just raid him to death. And then you still bank the gold. It's like, even if the Hussars take a bad fight, you could just make more Hussars. It actually, the more I think about it, is maybe the safer approach, especially when you only have one relic. Hera auto-farming away, expanding that farming eco. Pushing back here now. The big thing I just keep thinking about for Nicov is he doesn't have the farming eco and he doesn't have many castles. He only has 2 castles. That's such an issue for him. But he's not dead. Even TCs is kind of an issue for him, right? I think Hera's got like 4 or 5 TCs. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, he's got 4. That's not crazy. But if you lose Vils, you can replenish them easily in Hera's position, is my point. It's really hard to play in Nikov's position, even with 3 TCs. You just got things split up. There is only 5,000 gold left on the map. So we are actually very close to them running out of gold. Hera up to 70 on food. But a lot of his units are still going to go down if the Chakram Thrower mass can be all together here. That is like 8 or 12 Chakrams. Look how fast those halbs went down. Chakrams are absolutely busted, dude. They are so strong. And I guess Nicov is just holding the line with a couple Chakrams and Camels here. And now he's adding more TCs for more Vils down here. I like the Cannon Galleons from Hera. I've never seen Frisbees get thrown at a ship before. It's a new one. And the Hussars get their snipe. It's important for Hera that he's banking that gold. Again, he can take bad fights. The KD can look bad, but as long as you avoid the Chakrams, you could still get some valuable kills with the Hussars, and that's exactly what he did right there. And here comes Hera thinking maybe I could push again, and he runs into the Frisbees. And the Frisbees will hold the line ever so slightly. I mean, like, even hand cannons. Like, a couple hand cannons, and then the Chakram Throwers go down. I think, like, do you guys think that there's any chance Hera loses this game? I think that's a big part when I'm waiting for more things. He's like, no way. I've got 70 on food. I've got Hussars. I think he's been in this situation so many times. I think he feels there's no way I lose. It just is going to be a slow crawl. Nicov trying to fix his food eco desperately. If he can get up to 50 on food and 50 Chakrams, could be ridiculous. Oh, but Nicov, he's overextended. He's overextended for the ships, and Hera was definitely looking here. That hurts big time, man. Nicov will make a few camels. My guess is Nicov was probably looking over here, so he probably lost something while he was focused on this area. Hera's got Nicov exactly where he wants him here. He's still got the water control for cannon galleons. Nicov didn't actually have the unique tech, which makes all of his food units cheaper, which is honestly one of the strongest unique techs in the game. It's crazy. I didn't even notice he didn't have that. But the fights were so intense in early imp, it's kind of understandable. And this is what you can do with Hussars. Just say, okay, I'm out of here. I'm going to run right by. I'll kill something of value to you. There will be a lot of camels, but Hera can always add the helps. And this is all Hera wants, an opportunity to take this castle down. Yeah, no ballistics either for Nicov. But again, you got to think about how intense early imp was. It's kind of understandable. This game has been pretty crazy. I think Hera had such a nice boom, and Nicov had a lot of catching up to do. And so when you have catching up to do, that's when you miss out on technologies. And also when you're uber focused on producing and microing, sometimes some of those techs get forgotten. I don't think missing out on ballistics changed a lot here. I just think Hera... I mean, I'm saying this as Hera is starting to lose ground. Hold on a second. I just think Hera was able to gain the better position, but Hera has not advanced forward with any push here. Hera's pop is slightly below Nikov's. I mean, if Nicov could get here, if Nicov could break this line, right behind that is all of Hera's eco. What a performance from Nicov. He's got no golden come except those relics, by the way. These galleons are just weakening units nonstop. He can afford Siege Elephant? He could maybe get one wave? Also, Nicov up to 70 on food now. Hera gets the Hussars in on top of the Chakram throwers. Most of the Chakrams out of the picture. That's a problem for the camels. That's a big problem for the camels. You need the combo. It's so expensive. Nikov's Bombard Cannon kind of in harm's way as well. This is not a comfortable fight for Nicov with everything that's up against him here. And Hera's going to snipe the Bombard Cannon. Nicov will know he has gold problems. And this was maybe something that Hera kind of foresaw. He didn't really need gold military. He made ships with gold. He made siege with gold. And the rest is pure trash. Maybe the last attempt here from Nicov. Because he's still repairing this castle. So he'll have 20 more chakrams. Where are his relics, by the way? His relics are here. Hera could take those relics. If Hera were to lose this game, that would be a talking point. Hera could easily have taken him. But just like anything else, it's not so easy. It's easy to talk about. It's easy to say. Not easy in the game. And Nicov holds. Dude, what a game from Nicov. For as inevitable as people seem to think this game is, especially people chatting before the series, Nikov's getting shipwright? With no gold? I guess he sold. Sold for gold. His relics are right there, so he probably doesn't want to lose the relics. Yeah. That's so bad. Oh, all the camels go down. Yeah, Nicov, if he loses this game, it's not going to be because he didn't give it his best. Just feel like how much gold is actually left. So hold on. Hera will... If Hera spends that 2,700 gold, he won't be able to get more gold either. Now, he does have the crazy trash units. Gurjaras can't even get pikemen. But Hera could lose all three of these trebs. Nicov is 70 on food. Nicov is trying to come back on water. We'll see if that actually works. I mean, maybe this is winnable for Nicov. Like, again, he's back up to 25 chakram throwers. If these chakram throwers just move in towards halbs, the halbs all get destroyed. Nicov needs to ensure that his galleons are being produced and they're staying inside the dock till he gets the numbers. And for the love of God, now I'm thinking ballistics. And Nicov just realized. Yeah, he realized that castles aren't hitting. And so he's going to drop his university to double check there. I don't think it'll be easy for him to re-win water. But yeah, essentially, soon Hera will have 0 on gold with only 1 relic. Hera also losing some villagers up here to Nikov's raid. Sick job from Nicov, man. Might even be able to get a couple units. Looks like he raided there too. Nikov's getting ballistics. Is Nicov going to win this game? Now Hera makes hand cannons? Well, I mean, he probably... Again, maybe he thought he would have had the game won already. And he wanted to save the gold. Hand cannon has been the unit that I've been waiting to see. Hand cannon is a way to devastate those chakrams. Nicov is back on water. He defends those relics. His hussars are super cheap. He's got 70 on food himself. What a game. Chakram throwers are in jeopardy now because there's hand cannons in that group. Even 10 hand cannons change it. But look at the army disappear for Hera. The chakram throwers are insane. They could just wipe out your whole army with a volley or two. And look at it back into the choke. Backing away, hitting with those frisbees. Still really nice reinforcements from Hera coming. And he does back Nicov all the way up. He can find some villager kills. But now there's galleons that he's going to have to contest with too. 74 on food now from Nicov. Crazy stuff, man. Also, Hera's trebuchet could be sniped. Nikov's overcommitting his whole navy just to get the treb, but he gets the treb. Hera no gold, remember. Just 1 relic. Hera getting some raids in. Soon Hera reaching 100 villagers killed in this game. Nikov's still trying. He did lose a lot of galleons to take that Treb. But he felt like he needs to keep this castle up. I think Hera needs to be careful here. Hera could lose another Treb. He won't be able to make many more. Here, though, the fast fires and the galleons from Hera are taking some good engagements. And this is what I mean. Now, Nikov's units aren't attacking. They're on stand ground or something. Or they were, it looked like no attack stance. And down goes Hera's Treb. Hera will definitely lose a Treb. Hera, what are we doing, bro? Are you sure about that? Are you sure about that? I don't think you should build that castle, Hera. This is bad for Hera. This is really bad. The more he builds that, the more he just ends up losing, right? I mean, does he not? God, it's so close. Maybe he thinks he can actually complete it. He does still have the hand cannons. He does have more Hussars, and he's like, this is what I'm doing. I'm building my castle. No way. I still don't believe in it. I still do not believe in that castle. I don't believe in that Treb. I don't believe this game. The castle's actually going to go up. The Treb goes down. A Treb is now on the way from Nicov. What a crazy, crazy, crazy game. Nicov has nothing on water anymore, by the way. Hera did get a beautiful little surround there on the chakrams. And the hand cannons are still behind. Chakrams are the key for Nicov. And that Treb is the key. He cannot lose that Treb. Oh, man. Nikov's pop is dropping. His pop is dropping big time. A lot of the Hussars are getting sniped by ships. But Hera doesn't have a Treb here yet. Hera does have stone to repair. Hera does have 80 army. Is this finally it? Feels like this could be the moment Hera finally finishes it off. A new Treb comes out of this castle. He's got the other Treb there too, so we'll have two of them. Nicov does not have the gold to repair his castle. And man, if Hera's one Hussar raid from killing 30 villagers here as well. But with how threatening Nicov has been in this corner, fully understandable that he's had to focus here. Nikov's castle will fall. The farmers are boxed in. They're trying to flee, and they are not allowed to. Now they can flee. Castle's down. I think Hera's got this one. 80 army for Hera. Even though he's out of gold, even with one relic, he has the crazy skirms. He has the crazy halbs. And then he has the Hussars. And the weakness of Gurjaras is they don't even get pikemen. So late game, they struggle for that reason. And then their skirms also aren't really all that great compared to the skirmishers of the Lithuanians. So having 4 relics, maybe not enough at the end of the day. Population for Nikov's still ridiculous. It's like every time you think he's going to die, he holds on. He snipes another Treb. If Hera's castle was not here, I would have a lot more faith. Just this castle's so helpful for Hera. A couple Hussars from Nicov. And this is something I'd expect Hera... Maybe when he gets raided here, he starts to think about raiding that side as well. But nah, I mean, he's so close to breaking Nicov. Could see why he just wants to continue to push in this area. The weakness of the chakram throwers is they need to be produced from castles. And they're always fighting in the same spot. So there's opportunities elsewhere around the map. We've seen the raids for Hera do a lot because Nikov's chakrams can't split up to go deal with that. And there's Hera again with a bit of a surround, and he's focus firing down with some of those hand cannons on the chakrams. And it's just the same old story, right? Like Hera kills the chakrams, Nicov makes the chakrams. Repeat. Another castle from Hera in the back. The last of his stone. There's only 100 gold and 200 stone left on the map. I have no clue where that is. What a game. But this will be Hera's game. And the GG's called. What a start to the series, man. As I've said, the round of 16 in this tournament has just been filled with banger after banger after banger. The early rounds, all the players who made it to the round of 16 were just kind of clapping their opponents. Nicov hadn't lost a game up until now, but Hera gets a very solid first game. It's hard for me to break this one down fully, obviously, because it was over an hour, but I'm going to take it back to early imp here. I think if Nicov would have had the edge in the early Treb Bombard Cannon War, I think Nicov wins. Because then Nicov has tons of castles. He can make more chakrams. I mean, how is Hera supposed to compete? Hera already lost 300 more units than Nicov did this game. But what ended up happening was Hera pushed a lot of castles from Nicov. Nicov ended up losing 3 or so castles. And yes, Hera did lose some of his own castles on this side, but he lost the castles after he already took map control. So, like, look at this, right? So Nicov, he's got no castles right now. Hera already has 2. And then it's like castle. Sorry, that was Hera's castle. But I remembered there were a couple other castles in there. I just skipped past it. Hera lost these castles, but this wasn't where his economy was. This wasn't where, and he didn't need it for production. So I think that's probably part of it. Really nice job from Hera to set up his eco. And that food eco was just bonkers from him. Nicov needed to get the snowball rolling a little bit faster with the chakrams. I do not remember a point where he had over 30 chakrams. He probably did, but it wasn't consistent. And even the camels as well, it felt like when he did make them, he didn't have many either. Actually felt like Nikov's best composition was when he wasn't making the camels. Like, maybe camels, it feels weird to say, but maybe camels was a waste. Hera made a lot of halbs this game. Maybe just straight hussar with your own chakrams could get the job done. Also, at this time, Nikov's actually 20 vils up over Hera. And he is 30 military down. Yeah, I think Nicov calls it because Nicov will always lose this castle. This is going to end. I wouldn't say that's an early GG, but what a great game. Game number 2 feels like a must-win for Nicov, right? Because of how dominant Hera is and how tough it would be to win 3 games. And Nikov's going to drop his TC right away there. He's playing as the Dravidians. And Hera has gone for the Vikings. Ooh, okay. So I was thinking, where would Hera play Vikings? Because another time I've seen Vikings played was on Boundary Brawl. But Hera goes for it here. And so another game where Hera's probably going to try and open galleys then. Because I think the best meta here, if you could play completely optimal, is you win water with galleys, and then you just boom in Castle Age, and if you have water control, you feel you have middle control. But what I've been saying is Dravidians and other civilizations, they have some nice bonuses where they can maybe get to feudal age quick, and if you go forward dock, like a dock right on top of Hera's dock, maybe those fire galleys could push back those galleys and make things interesting. I think if you combine that with a little bit of land presence, it could potentially work. But I've seen the galleys, it's looked pretty good. Like when Leary plays this map, he always goes galleys. So Hera did something interesting here. He actually didn't build his TC with 3 vils. He built it with 2. I did some testing on this, and I've obviously watched a lot of games. I don't think what Hera did is necessarily great, because your TC's up later, and then you're down a villager. I guess the positive with the way he did it is his docks up earlier. But then again, his villager was on the shorefish, so maybe brought in a little bit more food. Maybe it probably evens out. Like maybe there's a point Nicov can't make a fishing ship, and Hera can make his second. It's probably pretty close. It's really awkward at the start right now, because you're trying to maximize everything. So Nicov got the fishing ship out, then had to shift pretty much everything over to this boar. Then he had to think about the house, but now he has to think about the next fish while still having enough food for the TC. I think your average player, there might be a couple average Joes out there who are playing in the Community Cup. What up? You're going to see people maybe delay the dock entirely for a little bit longer just so they can get the TC running. But looking good for Nicov so far. It's expected that Nicov would have this slightly better start with the Dravidians here. He's scouting around the map with his sheep. He sees this boar, so he's aware of that. I got something to bring up, though, with Nicov. Like, this isn't just Nicov. This has been a lot of games. But if you TC right away because you want that fast start, you're usually town centering in range of galleys. So it is all the more important to not lose water control, because if you lose the water control, you're probably going to lose your TC. And the next thing to think about is, where are they going to take gold? We've seen players just take the gold that they have over on their side, and that's the safer approach. But we've also seen players just walk to the middle. It's not that far to make a mining camp here. And we've seen tower rushes too, because then both players end up in the middle. So Hera is just kind of the definition of playing safe and not taking lots of risks. So I would be very shocked if he ever goes to the middle. I think he's just going to go for the safe golds. He's going to go for galleys, and he's going to adapt to what comes his way. But a really clean Dark Age for Nicov. This is like top tier build order here. And yeah, he's the lumber camp away from having his 2 buildings. Is he going to click up at like 19 pop here or something crazy? Goes lumber camp. He does queue up another Vil. It's actually really important that he ends up having the food here, because the pigs are not going to be that efficient or fast. I think he'll be okay. It's just at the limit here, and I'd expect something similar for Hera on his side. Yeah, Nicov clicks up. What a build. What a build. That is crisp. And same from Hera. Look at that. Super crisp up times. All designed around winning water. Nicov sending a villager. Now, you don't really know. Oh, he's sending 2 Vils. Hold on. Is he trying to scout where Hera's dock is right now with that fishing ship? That's so smart. I haven't seen anyone do that yet. Okay, well, he ends up getting very lucky. Because... there he is! There he is! Nicov gets all paranoid for a second, thinking that the fishing ships were trying to block something. So yeah, now Hera is going to go for 2 docks. And Nicov has gone for 2 forward docks. So Nikov's just going to try and flood the map with fires before the galleys can mass. Okay, so in Hera's position, I was thinking about this. I think you have to potentially just sail around with your fish. Like, you don't try and pop out with your navy, because you'll just die. So I think you just sail around with your fish, hope they don't die. And you need to ensure you still win water first and foremost. So the way to do that, I'm just like kind of spitballing here, is your galleys have to stay inside your docks, and you don't hop out till you have 4. I've seen a lot of people hop out with the first 2, and then there's fires on top of you. Maybe you just accept your fish will go down. I think your fish going down is fine if you still win water. Let's see. Does Hera see the other dock? He does not actually see this dock. That's actually a really good call out. Thank you, chat. So if he doesn't see this, I assumed he did. He might actually send his galleys here to group up. And he's going to be completely surprised by the other fire. Yeah, that's most likely what's going to happen now. Not knowing about this is massive. 300 more resources collected. For Hera, by the way. And now look, there's a fire from this side. There's a fire from this side. So just immediate pressure on the galleys, making it very difficult for the galleys to group up or have any idea on where to go. The galleys are fast, but as Hera tries to go this way now, there's going to be another fire here. And I think this is I don't even know if it's going to win, but I think this is the best possible play with fires against galleys we have seen so far in this tournament. This is perfect. Like, it cannot get any better than this. Hera almost sniped that Vil, but wasn't able to. Almost snipes the fish, but isn't able to. And now he's keeping some of his galleys inside of his docks. But even look at that. Nicov tracking. Nicov tracking. Nicov chasing. This is sick. Nice micro from Hera, considering the circumstances. But now his galleys are being surrounded. And he's going to lose a galley. And this is all Nicov. This is not even close right now. How are you supposed to find engagements? Hera also lost a villager here. Also, did Hera lose a villager to a boar? It says Hera has 3 deaths, but Nicov only has 2 kills. I think Hera also might have lost the villager to a boar because he was trying to micro the galleys. I'm not sure how that would have happened otherwise. Am I crazy? It says Hera has... Oh, wait. No, but the eco KD... I'm stupid. I'm stupid. I'm stupid. Never mind. Chat, just say stupid. I feel like I need to be called stupid. Thank you. Actually, maybe don't. I already know. You don't have to say that. Another boar is going to come in from Hera. He's still trying to mass galleys. And let's see if he could get to the right positions. He would need to eject to the right from this dock. But then there's 3 fires there. This is rough. Obviously, there's a lot of stuff happening here. It's easy to mismanage your eco behind this as well, if you're either player. I think taking down the docks is still going to be an important thing for Nicov here long term. Losing the fish for Nicov, maybe something he'd like to avoid, but I consider it somewhat acceptable if you do not allow the Vikings to overtake on water here. Look at all of the weak galleys for Hera right now, as he's just trying to flee. But he could be completely sandwiched. Nikov's not letting these docks still produce. I like that from Nicov. Just like staying on the docks at all times, and then he'll deal with these later. Hera didn't build a single mill on shorefish. And Nicov had already done that, and he's on the deer as well. Fantastic approach from Nicov. And now this is where, like, Nikov's the underdog, right? But this is where we've got to bring up, like, there were situations in the earlier rounds similar to this where Hera was not up against a top 16 guy, and Hera was able to bring it back. Can he bring it back now that he's up against someone like Nicov? It should be so much more difficult. But obviously, would be seen as doable. Look at these fires coming in, dude. Like, there's no way. There's no way. Impossible micro scenario. Get yourself out of this one. This is a Hera sandwich. There will be a demo from Hera, but Nicov says, no, not in my house. It might have been a little bit of overkill, honestly. Look how many fires. He has made so many fires. He's got 14 fires. But, you know, you really need to make sure that you can get the job done against this guy. Don't give him away back into the game. Nice demo there from Hera, but for what? I mean, his dock still goes down. Nikov's chasing this galley. Nicov is now checking the shoreline. I wonder if the uber paranoia comes in for Nicov and he even starts to, like, run around with vills, build houses, just so he'd make sure Hera doesn't transport. Hera obviously can't transport right now, so it doesn't seem right. But you might be like, okay, how can I lose this game instead of how can I win this game? And you might be scared. I like the walls here to stop Hera from running to the middle with a bunch of vills. That's key. And Hera hasn't clicked up yet. Hera should be dead. One opening from Nicov. I spoke to Nicov personally, and I was just like, listen, if there's ever any time, any tournament where you could beat Hera, this would be it. It's based on how Nicov has played, some of the games from Hera, some of the maps, you know, the style of games, very different from some other events. Hera hoping to build some sneaky docks here. His hope to get back into this is going to be longboats. But as long as Nicov is properly patrolling, this will be very difficult. And Nicov is properly patrolling every single inch of shoreline. I think Nicov is. No way, dude. What are we doing with this ship? Okay, so he sees it. I mean, the fire galley sees it. I don't know if he sees it. Nicov is up. Hera's going to try another spot now. You've got to be kidding me. Nicov, my friend. My great friend, you've got 16 ships. 15, excuse me. There we go. Okay, so he notices. But this gives Hera an opportunity back. And Nicov needs to put an end to this right now. And now Hera drops a third dock. Oh, boy. Well, Hera's going to have to open with demos. And Nicov will bring all of his fires over. And Hera's just, like, trying his best to come back here. That's a lot of docks. I mean, this is no joke. But the eco for Hera is abysmal. And the demos are just demo rafts. He needs the demos to be upgraded, so he's getting War Galley. I really think that Nicov needs to unclump his ships right now. This is very clumpy. And, well, there goes a demo now to give him a heads up. Dock will go down for Hera. Now he's only got 3. That's a lot of fires from Nicov. And Nikov's actually going for light cav right now, so he's going to send light cav into Hera's base. And Hera desperate to land some big demos, and he does. So this pure demo play, not too bad here for Hera. I'm a little surprised that maybe Nicov didn't consider going for galleys here. You already have 15 fires. You could snipe the repair vills. The demos is maybe slightly worrying. Sorry, just looked away during another massive demo because I wanted to see what the light cav did. And Hera's maybe still kind of sort of in this. Still, this isn't the only aspect of the game that is happening, though. And that's important to remember. There's the TC in the middle for Nicov that he will complete. There's going to be Siege coming out from him. There's the light cav now. But longboats can win water very easily in Castle Age. And Nikov's just clumping up these ships. He's not spreading them out anymore. And I don't think he's ever going to make a galley. Why do I feel like this is going to be something that Nicov... It feels like it should be unlosable for Nicov, but... Big demo from Hera as he's losing some vills. And now the longboats are out. I mean, longboats are insane. Longboats shred fires. And, I mean, Nikov's got the middle, TC. He's got light cav coming around. Hera's got no army. There's so many negatives for Hera. The Siege just killed Hera's farmer. Nikov's rolling into town with that. Like, Hera's getting completely shredded here. But Hera's going to try and come back with water. 2,000 more res collected. And Nicov continues to just smash with that mangonel. I think the issue for Hera now, even though he has the longboats, is he can't actually focus on the longboat micro because of everything else. So what's going to happen is Hera, even though it's Hera, he's not going to be able to micro these longboats effectively because of everything else that's going to be happening. Because something's gonna give. He has no defense on land. This TC will go down unless he wants to rush with Vils. So, okay. He's going to rush with Vils. Nicov says, okay. And GG's called. Well played from Nicov. Who got worried? Show of ones in chat. Who got worried? I'm actually raising my hand. You can't see me right now. I got a little concerned there for Nicov when I saw his 15 fire galleys get boomed by demos. But what an approach from Nicov. What an opening. TC was going up on the backside, plus he had the TC in the middle, plus he had the land pressure with the Siege, and his opening was absolutely perfect. That was the best opening I've ever seen versus a galley opening so far in Wandering Warriors Cup 2 on this map. And so game 1, it took Hera over an hour to kill Nicov. Game 2, Nicov kills Hera fairly convincingly in 25 minutes. We have ourselves a series, folks. Let's go. Again, you look back to the... I guess the engagements would have been very different before the demos, but it's felt fairly convincing for Nicov in terms of kills. Look at the economy, though. More of every single resource and more control. He was going to castle the middle. That was, like, what Nicov just did there, that was a prepped strat, that was a practice strat, and that was a play of confidence right there. Obviously, he knows how good Hera is and how Hera's the favorite, but, like, he didn't play like he felt that way. All right, folks. Well, here we are. And we are here at game number 3. And to make things even better, it's a Chinese war, which has produced really good games, but it's also first pick for both. So it feels like even series, now number 1 pick versus number 1 pick. Pretty epic stuff. We've got Nicov with his dock up already. On this map, you start with a fishing ship, which is the number 1 reason why the Chinese are so top tier, because they will have food in the bank for that first Vil. And interesting what Nicov just did. You see that? He built the dock, and then he said, hold up, I actually want to build the TC with the 3rd Vil so I can get my new Vils a little bit faster. I don't know if there's a major difference here, but Hera's Vil is still in the shorefish. But if you're thinking about it, your fishing ship's already going to give you enough food for the first Vil. I don't know. Then it comes down to like the TC timing initially and all that stuff. It probably will end up, yeah. I think, if anything, Nikov's TC was a bit later because he maybe wanted to get closer to his gold. But then he'll have to walk back out to the shorefish. Oh, he's going to take the elephant, though. That's a dream starting spot there for Nicov. Food right underneath his TC. Talk about map hacks there for Nicov. Hera's got a rhino here. Hera's got an elephant here. And there's water buffaloes, deer, everything all around. Big thing, though, is how you control the middle on this map. And you have the water, which you know your opponent's going to have. Water's extremely strong, but so is the land. So, I don't know, like, obviously Hera's going to have crazy confidence in his ability with multitasking. But when you think of, like, Hera's strengths over other really big pros, what aspect do you think, like, what would you say, guys? I wouldn't necessarily say multitasking. Obviously, everyone's multitasking is top tier. But, okay, consistency is a huge one. Yep, from series to series, from game to game. I think it's like defense and macro, right? Yeah, defense and macro is kind of the thing that came to mind. Game number 1 was a good example of that. He basically plays damage control, gets the eco lead, then pushes you back. This map can be pretty ridiculous, right? Like, you can completely lose water and still win the game. So I am slightly surprised you picked this map against someone like Nicov. Because when you think of Nicov, I think aggression to a fault. Like, Nicov goes so aggressive, he, you know, sometimes misses an eco upgrade for an hour. That's old Nicov, sorry. But you know what I mean. Nikov's APM is typically through the roof. He loves to go for the crazy archer micro crossbow plays. And so I think there's a good opportunity here for Nicov. Way bigger opportunity to win here than maybe some of the other maps. Now, with everything we just said, how do I think Hera's going to approach this? Well, Hera is going to be so in love with his fish. And I think he's really comfortable with galley play. So we might see Hera go for galleys to dominate water and then adapt. That's probably how he's going to view it. There was a strategy. I don't think we're seeing it now. I think Nikov's literally just getting the elephant. But there was a strategy that Vinchester did, and then Barrels did on this map, where, expecting the galleys from the opponent, they walked forward with a Vil, and they built a forward dock or two directly where the opponent's fish are. Very similar to what Nicov did the previous game. I wonder if that's what Nicov will do. Because you hit him with fires, and then you go archers in the middle. Yeah, we got 3 houses now for Nicov. There is a crazy possibility that if Nicov wants to play extreme, he could go fast castle. In the earlier rounds, there was a player who was up against Mihai, who's going to be in the quarterfinals. And he beat Mihai in one game. He was Romans, and he went fast castle, siege knight. So he lost all of his fish, but he had the siege workshop right up on the hill. And Mihai lost his TC and had to rebuild it, then built a castle, but then had no gold, and then lost his TC again, and then rebuilt it. And then he lost his TC a 3rd time, and then he eventually tapped out. So, like, there's weird possibilities there, but yeah, it doesn't seem like it. Nicov clicks up to feudal. How did Nicov click up to feudal? Oh, the lumber camp was already up. I don't know why I was thinking it wasn't up yet. Okay. Just that buffalo scouting the shoreline now from Nicov. And so what Nicov is doing is all top-tier stuff for this map. You need to find the docks, but also we've seen a lot of buildings in the middle. So you would potentially find the barracks with this. There's been more than one games where I've seen that. He did now see the gold, but he doesn't know that Hera hasn't TC'd the gold. So, like, Nikov's gold is a little bit easier to lock down, especially with the way he built his houses. Hera's houses aren't really protecting the front yet. Nicov probably needs to build a mining camp anyways, even though that's right next to his TC. So, it evens out in the end, and there's the barracks now from Nicov. So, 2 docks from Nicov. This is all about how you spend your wood and gold, essentially. They have their food income through fish. And now a barracks from Hera. Now, will it be galleys, or will it be fires? Hera goes fires. Interesting. Somehow Hera's up faster despite having more idle TC time. I guess Nicov had one more Vil. And it's not fires right away from Nicov. It's actually a spearman and then a range, but he will probably follow this up with fires. Rest collected is super close. And yeah, the Komodos in the middle don't make life easy for you. Especially when you don't have loom. Nikov's position, so there he goes, rounding up the Komodos. Does Hera have loom? Bro! He's gonna get the tiger too? No way. Dude, Nicov, get to that gold. No, 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 he's trapped. Dude, if he rushes these animals and woo-woo-woos Hera's gold, that's gonna be crazy. He's just like, please don't have a TC here. Please don't have a TC here. Please don't have a TC. Oh, Nicov, check that he is. Look, delete, delete, delete. It's actually not going to be that big a deal, chat, because Hera has the TC. Oh, 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 oh! No! That was so close. And then Hera instantly gets loom. Oh, that's so funny. Almost killed the villager. It's still worth it, though. That's not worth it. That's not worth it. Nicov just tosses away an archer. Oh, man. I think Nicov didn't know Hera was going scouts, right? And so he thought if his opponent was archers, he would just meet him with the other archer and be able to out-micro him. Well played there from Hera to immediately move forward there. Also save the Vil. I also think Nicov might have lost a villager to a rhino or something. Oh, no, I'm stupid. Man, I'm so bad with that. He just literally lost the unit to an animal. That's what I'm... Every time I see the KDs offset, I just immediately assume they lost it to a rhino or something. Second time this series. Nice hit there from Nicov. And no fish have gone down yet, but they're always focusing on this. Hera reacts a little late. Did save those fires, though. We'll have to go back, maybe repair those, which is not so easy. Love how Hera has saved these buffalo. And I love how he's transitioned onto the deer. But we've seen similar things here from Nicov. Nicov needs to advance forward with his archers and spears before Hera gets skirms out, or Nicov needs to not advance out at all, and Nicov needs to click up to Castle Age and just make a complete switch to Knights. Just patrolling defensively here is Hera. Nikov's pretty much doing the same. And now Nikov's going to advance forward, but Nikov's on the way to Castle Age. So there's been one kill in this game from the player. That was Hera when he killed that archer. Look at Nikov's build. I remember saying the exact same things when I watched him play in the previous rounds. I was just continually so impressed with how well timed everything was. We saw it in game 2. His timing with the attack that pretty much brought him the easiest victory he'll probably be able to get today. Now Hera is spending a lot of food. He's spending a lot of food on skirms to get fletching. He's making the scouts. He needs some damage right now. If Nicov gets to Knights, Hera is stuck in Feudal Age against that. Nice job there from Nicov to just wall this up so Hera's skirms and scouts won't be here. It's also quite nice for Nicov that he's actually saving these archers. If these don't get killed, he could also upgrade them later on. As long as Nicov is protected from the scouts for the next minute, should be in a pretty good spot. Hera's going to have to be creative to get some damage in. And now Hera moves in, and Nikov's waiting for him, and Nicov will defend this. He kills one fire. He'll kill another. It was very close. Nice job from Hera to back away. This demo is hugely important. The way Nikov's patrolling there would be brutal for him if Hera's demo collides. Nicov is underproduced on water. He is underproduced on land. So he is cut production in both ways. And Hera's gone for the numbers. And now Nikov's up the castle. Also, ooh, we have the archers and the spears going through. And Hera, with the Age of Gates play, defends from it all. And the TC kills everything. Still, though, lots of other things to focus on. The big demo from Hera is massive. Nicov is just about to get the upgrades on his ships, but he's also looking at the knights. He was also looking at the archers. And so Nicov needs a big demo of his own soon. Still able to easily recover with a demo of his own. Plus, he's got the upgraded ships, and now Hera has knights to do it. So now Hera has to be careful. I think it's really important for Nicov, as he kills off the skirms, that the knights get to Hera's base. And it's really important for Hera that he's walled where he can be. I guess everything's pretty protected. It'd be tough for the knights to run through there. Nicov saving his units here. And he gets the good demo. Good stuff. Yeah, Nicov could maybe try and go over to Hera's side and kill fish now. Hera lost all of his navy. So many different things to look at right now. So I think the plan for Hera is ultimately going to be his own stable units. He could maybe go for cav archers, but I think it's a little too late in the game for that. I think a second stable will come in. I think he'll get cav upgrades. I think he'll make camels. Doesn't really have the wood for that just yet because he's still focusing heavily on water. This map is just so tough to play, man. What a performance from Nicov. I love, like, how well he's played considering the narrative, or at least around the community. Nikov's not going to pay attention to Twitch chat narratives. But, you know, like, Seed 16 versus Seed 1, the way Hera's played this year, everyone's going to say Hera's going to win until he isn't winning. But this is beautiful from Nicov. I mean, he's got knights all over Hera. Hera needs to defend from. He's got fire galleys coming in to kill Hera's fish. Hera still doesn't have his second stable, but he's about to add it now. Hera will inevitably make those camels, but his fishing ships could so easily be sniped. I mean, if Nicov could just pay attention to it and move through, Hera will lose his 8 fish. And a second TC from Nicov in the middle. What a game from Nicov. Really putting Hera to the test here. And he knows enough to know to dive for those fishing ships right now. He should be able to kill them. Should be able to kill a couple of them anyways. But he will need to solve some problems on land. Here he demos, and if he could just find those fish, that could be a couple easy kills. Hera's still keeping them alive. Hera will have more fire, so there's limited time that Nicov could do this. The fire ship gets gifted one, because the fish are dropping off the dock. Overchop from Hera, but maybe it was actually just a delete. Because he was expecting to be able to win that fight with the camels. And Nicov needs farms now. He hasn't built a mill yet. So his food eco is actually pretty rough. Hera only 4 farms. And this is pretty rough for him. And this is pretty rough for him. So, I mean, it's just a tough game all around. Eco upgrades are pretty rough, but it's to be expected. Nicov still has fishing eco, though, and Hera doesn't really anymore. We'll have a couple. Nicov actually focused down a bunch here. That fire ship was huge. And the TC as well. Controlling the hill. This is what we've talked about. On this map, you need the hill at all times. Now Nicov can start to add the farms. Nicov has the lead here, guys. This is not a fluke, right? Oftentimes when the favorite is losing, reasons start to come up. Well, you know, I heard that he stubbed his toe 3 days ago. Well, you know, I mean, recently, you know, all the reasons start to come out. And I think about this too, because as a caster, I think I'm sometimes to blame, right? I maybe know certain things. But when the favorite wins, no one ever mentions the situations in the underdog's life. And also, Hera's playing incredible. Just a lovely series. Look at that farming eco from Hera, though. That's ridiculous. Last time I looked over here, he had 3 farms. And now he's up to, like, 20? It's really well played. Nicov pretty much feels like he's won water, so he's relying more on the fish. So less farms, more fish. Hera's scouts are really important because he has the potential to snipe the monks that Nikov's making. But the TC kind of protects from those scouts in a way. Hera just tries to garrison tries to convert a villager there, which he does. He actually tries to convert the camel then. So now his monks can't actually convert at all. No armor, no bloodlines for Nicov, and Hera has armor, bloodlines, and forging. And I'm starting to see Hera now get into his groove a little bit. Even though he's behind in the workers, 3 TCs. It's a simplified game plan. He doesn't have to worry about water anymore. Mangonel going in. Nice split micro from Hera there. And Nicov now has to quick wall this wood line. Yeah, so do you respect the scouts enough where you chase with your camels? Because if you do that, then the camels can dive underneath your TC. Tricky stuff. Ooh, scouts find the vills on stone. Now, Hera's already on stone himself. I was just going to talk about that. There's limited stone on this map. And now Hera comes in underneath the TC at the same time. But Nicov out of the TC with his monks. He tries to get conversions. Oh, man, they're both controlling the game so well. Nikov's dropping this town center just to protect the stone, pretty much. So you have tiles, singular tiles of stone around the map. And Hera's on 2 different ones. So Hera will actually naturally get to the stone it takes to drop a castle. Nicov is really far away from that. Every conversion so valuable for the monks. And every hit from the Mangonel Nicov has is helpful because Chinese don't get redemption. So he's actually hoping the Mangonel will kill the monks, I think. Camel number is the exact same. Upgrade number is not. Hera has the better upgrades. But then also, when you fight on top of a hill, there's a massive advantage too. So there's kind of a defender's advantage for Nicov and for Hera. And Hera constantly just hovering around with these scouts. And maybe hoping to pull Nicov out of position here. I think Hera's about to drop this castle. As much as I'd love a forward castle, it just doesn't make sense. I think just directly on this hill to protect your golds and protect your economy, and then you can start to make Chukonu. If you go too crazy with this, you could lose the game, but he might feel like he needs something crazy. He's going to castle there. I mean, let's see. His light cav will go in for the monks. Nicov will obviously bring his siege and monks following this. It's a complicated enough position, especially with how Hera's moved his army in and around, where it makes Nicov really have to think about this, and then you think too long, you can't stop the castle. Doesn't this mean that Nicov just justifies a castle on this hill, though? Like, directly between the engagements is this hill. I'm really surprised by this castle. And now Nicov drops a castle there. Okay, well. Then this hill isn't pushed at all. Nicov didn't have the army to push. Makes sense. Yeah, Hera could just control the hill with his army. And Hera's going to go imp. On this map, in this situation, he's going to think about imp. Another TC for him. I don't know. His resources seem to be getting close. Didn't look like Hera knew Nicov was building his own castle, but now he knows. And Nicov getting a university now. Getting Bodkin. This hill decides the game. still, in my opinion. This right here. A big fight here. Whoever wins it, it just has to. Like, Hera might have these 2 golds, but this area is so valuable to Nicov and to Hera. It's crazy. And, ooh, a couple knights there from Nicov will kill some Hera Vills. Hera wants to get to that stone. He's also going to this stone. Really good recognition that the stones are important and out there. Nikov's getting ballistics for his Chukunu. Nikov's going to have the way better army here. Once he gets Chukunu with his camels. It is weird, though. He doesn't have any camel upgrades. So, it might still take a couple more upgrades for me to get that excited. Nice attack round there from Nicov. You could tell Nicov is maybe paranoid that Hera could always go over here. That's what Hera really needs to focus on. This castle makes it so difficult for Nicov to address the right side. 8 Chukunu. If that can get up to 20, Hera could have some big problems. But he is producing his own. And he will be an imp faster. And he will be able to make trebs faster. And Nicov hasn't taken big fights yet. Nicov hasn't, like, really gotten a lot of kills yet. Hera loses a monk or 2. Hera loses a camel or 2. Seems like camel is his focus. Feel like this hill is everything to Hera right now. Can Nicov advance up that hill? This is so sick. So amazing to watch this. Like, Hera knows he cannot lose his hill. And he's just clinging to it with everything he's got. Nicov is finding it really tough to break Hera just yet. It's just like, just enough resistance every single time for Hera to make Nicov think the fight might not be a good fight for him, you know? And I think Hera's ultimately going to build another castle on this hill. We'll see. Nicov might take the hill right now. He just saw his opponents up. Yep, so he's going to take the hill. There's the treb on the way from Hera. Nicov knows stone income, by the way. He's got a bunch of ranges, so he's going to go full arbalest switch. Hera's camels are not going to really be a good unit here against what his opponent is making. I mean, the Chukunu should still do very well against that. And now, where does Hera build his next castle? Oh my god, Nikov's buying the castle. 1,000 gold to buy 500 stone. He's going to have to buy 2 more times. But he's going to castle the hill. Now, good luck to Nicov keeping track of the raids, too. This is going to be good from Hera. It takes the attention away from the hill, but Hera lost his hill. Hera will go to treb this. Nicov will go to make his own trebs. Man, what a critical time. Nicov is actually housed right now. Nicov is housed, and we have a castle here from Hera on Nicov. Nicov will not be housed anymore because he's getting raided, so the treb will be on the way. He's repairing. He did take Hera off of a lot of gold. Hera, no gold income. He garrisoned the vills from this TC, garrisoned the vills from this TC. But Nicov, you're Chukunu. Yikes! Yikes, 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 yikes. Nicov just got to hold the hill. Nicov got a little overexcited there. I think those Chukunu are going to be really valuable for him. But he's got more gold control than Hera does. Though Hera will take this gold now. Beautiful play from Hera there to build the houses and force all of that in towards the TCs. Again, Nicov is not mining any stone. There is no stone available because Hera's actually taking that. But I don't know if there's enough stone that Hera could just repair forever. Nicov, he needs wood, he needs gold. For the trebs and for the archers. And Hera, well, he needs food golds to make camels, but I don't really think camels is the play, so I think he needs wood gold, and I think he needs castles, because he wants Chukunu. Hera doesn't have the range set up to go for archers. Look at him running all around right now. He loses his castle. Nicov will lose his own. But Nicov would eventually get to Arbalest. I think Nicov, it's a bit weird to just ignore this castle, because it's right next to your base, but I think you just base trade it and just send everything towards Hera right now. They're both going to be getting their base treb down. What is Hera's army going to be? He's switching to Cavalier now. This is because he knows he doesn't have time to drop ranges. So that's actually a great decision. Not sure it'll be in time. Nikov's TC is down. Nikov's kind of lost a big section of the hill. And he's just trebbing down Hera's TC. And he's trebbing down Hera's TC here as well. Chemistry also about to complete for the crossbows. What a close game. Say it so many times when game 3 is this close. It feels like whoever wins this game is going to take this series. Hera will have no TCs to reboom soon. But then Nikov's going to have no TCs to reboom soon. It's a town centerless game. It's a custom scenario. 30 crossbows for Nicov. If he could just get Arbalest, which actually he should be able to get the resources for because he's not producing Vils. With Arbalest, I think he has the better army. He did just lose his relics. And eventually they're going to fight each other here in the middle. Nicov, his crossbows, ready to go. But Hera getting armor for his cav, which he hasn't had this whole time. Nicov was never able to force a fight. More stables now for Hera. Crazy pressure. He's housed. Where's the Arbalest upgrade for Nicov? Is it in queue maybe? He's advancing up the hill. Hera doesn't have the army. Hera doesn't have the army. But the Trebs are getting some hits, funnily enough. The Trebs are doing beastly work. But that Treb goes down. Hera's running from that. Hera's losing his TC to a Treb. Nikov's camels are kind of defending that. There's villagers dying there. There's villagers dying here. Nicov is 200 pop, though. And he's got the army numbers. But he can't take down this castle yet from Hera. I don't know if Hera can kill 50 Arbs. And, I mean, his base is still wide open, but then again, Nicov can never go over there, and Hera's still adding all this eco, and Hera's still adding Cavalier. What a crazy game. Hera's also building a TC here. Nicov quickly going to snag these relics again. And Nicov now starting to trap Hera. Hera has no stone. So, Hera's 2 Trebs are now the key to keep this castle up. I think if Hera no longer has this castle, all of this eco dies. There's no easy way for Hera to ever take Nikov's castle, which is protecting wood and gold, which is all he's producing with. Oh my god! Nicov gates that and completely walls Hera out from moving through. And he is taking Hera's castles down. I say castle, sorry, castle. Yeah, Hera, I guess, didn't have many Vils around, so he's bringing the Vils now to go repair that. But his castle's gonna fall, guys. 63 Arbalests for Nicov, and dropping more ranges, and I don't think he's gonna switch into much more here. His camels have no upgrades. Okay, what's crazy, though, is Hera's gonna have the time. Look at how many Cavalier he has. Oh, man, that's still heavy camel, though. With Arbs to back it up. I'm still going with Nicov. He's got 90 army. It's tough for Nicov. I think if he pushes right now, he actually wins the game. If he goes right here, he wins. But also, he's probably thinking he can't allow Hera to live over here. So it does kind of feel like the right play to take this out first. Occasional farming for Nicov would be really nice so he could get more camels out. But, like, 70 Arbs is what he has right now. Nikov's also thinking, I've got relics, Hera does not. I've got a castle, Hera does not. So he's not going to feel like he has to go for the push. But look at Hera now. Crazy group of Cavalier now. And TC will go down. Chukunu will go down. The Arbs will always win that battle. Hera's eco's in tatters. Hera's going to have to fight this. 40 Cav. First 20 camels, 70 Arbs. Nicov! 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 I can't believe what I'm seeing right now. I cannot believe what I've just seen. What in the world? Nicov, he looked away for a second, almost threw his entire army away. He will win the fight. He will win the fight. It will not matter. This will not haunt Nicov. He will win the fight. Hera cannot replenish this many Cavalier. Nicov has more than enough Arbs. He has the hill. I was so terrified. because Nicov was probably dealing with a raid or something. But I don't think Hera has enough. It's still too many ARBs. Maybe I'm wrong. There's 45 ARBs now. He had 70 before. But Hera's army count, half of that is camels. That won't solve the problem. Hera's still going to keep kicking here with 102 Vils. His gold income is down here. And Nicov now fixing his farming eco. No horse collar for either, by the way. Too crazy of a map for that. And Nikov's just thinking, I just got to conserve my ARB mass and slow crawl through. What we just saw, by the way, is an example of why Nikov's going to be hesitant to push. Because he almost overextended with his ARBs and lost his entire army. But, like, Hera can't easily raid Nicov right now because he's getting his numbers up. So it gives opportunities for Nicov to gather up, you know, solve what he needs. I mean, I think he just saw this TC on gold. Nikov's so uncertain on where to go. And he wanted to go here, but he doesn't know there's things there anymore. And he does know there's villagers here. Yeah, this is now the area that Nicov needs to full focus on. If Hera cannot take these golds, I don't think he lasts much longer. You can't run that much further on Stranded. And also, what a map. Can't help but feel like if armor upgrades were in for Nicov, that life would be so much easier for him in some of these fights, too. Like, he doesn't have a single armor upgrade for his archers. Usually, you're just thinking about maximizing the attack upgrades. But a bit of armor there would help as well. I think he's now thinking he needs camels, so he's getting the armor for that. Yeah, guys, this has been one of the best maps in the tournament. This map has been ridiculous. Hera's now going to go into skirms. He still has the same Vil count as Nicov, but Nicov has been one big raid away from ending that. Like, I think Nicov is... You're seeing the fear right now that he's going to throw this game. And he does not want to overextend. So he's just been chipping away at Hera. He has so much belief in Hera's ability to kill him that he just won't dive in and take the risks. But this is a good fight for Nicov. There's a lot of eco there for Hera. Hera will get some raids in, though. So now Nicov has to worry about a surround. Hera does have skirms, but he doesn't have the craziest number of skirms. He's producing out of these ranges right now, so the units are hopping out. They're getting chewed up, and Nicov sees the Cavalier coming for his trebs. He house walls it out. He will kill the Cavalier with his camels, and surely Hera is dead here now. There is no way Hera can come back from this. He doesn't have the production. His eco's all split up. He's down 20 Vils. He doesn't have the relics. The favorite of this tournament, Hera, has played incredible today, but Nicov has delivered in one of the best sets I've seen him play, man. It's not over yet. Job's not done. Hasn't won this game yet. Hasn't won the series. But, man, I think this is the fight that does it. Yeah, Hera will lose everything. Well, maybe he'll get some skirms out. Maybe he'll get some skirms out. Which will mean that Nicov needs to back up. Bring in a bit more cav. Nicov has to be really careful to not fight against fully armored skirms. He might not realize the armor's in. But nah, man. Hera's losing eco over here. Hera's not... You know, Hera's dropping a new TC here. I think that's one... That'll be 2 TCs for him. Maybe 1, because this one's about to get trebbed down. And Hera maybe... You don't play... They haven't played too many games on this map, so he probably doesn't believe that Nicov is at 120 Vils. And that Nikov's at 180 pop. And probably a little bit of disbelief as well from Hera. What a game. And this was Hera's home map. Hera's #1 home map pick. The map he was most comfortable on. At least according to the draft. And Nikov's got him, guys. People get really critical when someone doesn't resign. Guys, with how crazy this game has been, I think it's completely fair for Hera to play on if he thinks he still has even a slight chance, all right? People are currently at work And they're also questioning why someone is wasting their time. Not everybody, of course. I know there's a lot of different places you could be on the internet. Your boss is pretty pissed too, guys. Now Nicov can take a deep breath for once. He's up to 60 on food. And he can get bloodlines, which he didn't have. I didn't even realize he didn't have that. And then he'll get imp armor. And now is when the full cav play will kill Hera. You don't even need the arbs. Just camel on this. And Hera's completely toast. And Nikov's like, where is he? Like, what on earth is happening? I could see everything. Nikov's even attacking the farmer with a Vil there. The light cav will find some kills. Nicov now is like, you know, the 7 emote or 7 taunt. Sees Hera's trying to reboom over here. Hera down to 80 pop. And he will be tapping out soon. And then he needs to win 2 straight. This is what you want in, like, esports, right? You want both players playing their best. You want the best players being brought to their limits. And for Hera fans and Nicov fans, you've definitely seen both of them at their limit today. Hera's going to have to pull out all the stops to come back if Nikov's playing like this. What a game. And this is the toughest map to really break down. The other ones, we could think of one moment with the Trebor and it's done. This was crazy tough for me to really go back to and say one moment. But if I were to pick one moment, it was just the difference between the Castle Age times and how Nicov played it. So essentially, Hera saw archers, made scouts, added skirms, got fletching, invested a bunch into feudal, but it didn't give him a ton of value. And Nikov's early Castle Age gave him the faster TC, and he was able to kill the fish, and then he was able to have the slight boom lead. Now, it felt like he had the slight boom lead the whole game, and then Hera still hit imp faster than him, which was ridiculous. And Hera still got the castle faster, which was ridiculous. But yeah, this was the hill we talked about, right? This hill felt like the most important area of the game. Maybe that's what Hera will regret. I mean, obviously he's got to push it out of his mind now. But I am very surprised that when his eco was set up here, that he didn't castle here and protect all of that. Instead, he castled here, which it made life very awkward for Hera. He had to defend this and also try and raid. He was kind of split in 2 minds. But man, Stranded might as well be called... well, we could maybe rename it to something that implies too crazy to handle. I don't know. And yeah, we should maybe move on because I'm getting ahead of myself. But yeah, what a game. All right, so after a bit of a wait, we are here. Game number 4. Can 16 seed Nicov? He's been playing Pro Age of Empires for like 12 years. He's always been amongst that top 16 conversation. Can he beat the undisputed number 1 player in the world right now, Hera? Needs 1 more win to do it. Who's more nervous right now? Would it be Nicov, who's 1 win away from beating Hera? Who's like, oh my god, I'm doing it? That can add some nerves. Or would it be Hera, who's maybe in, oh my god, I might lose this series territory? We'll see. I think they're both going to try and push out those emotions. I would say Nicov is probably the player who's a little bit more nervous in this position. So Hera's gone for Mayans. It's Boundary Brawl. They've TC'd the middle here. The middle is always visible. And just beyond the island on the outside will be the Rhinos for both of them. Berbers is a pick we've seen a lot. And then we've also seen the Doc build that Nikov's going to attempt quite a bit as well. So... Mayans I've never seen here, which is a bit interesting, but I don't hate it. I mean, you get the extra Vil. Their eco's super smooth. So, just because we haven't seen it before doesn't mean it's not necessarily a good civilization to go for. I don't think there's many maps you would really hate to have Mayans on, except for... Well, no, I can think of one where Mayans is not fun to have. Force nothing. The resources lasting 10% longer sucks. Ask me how I know. Because we've accidentally gotten freaking Mayans in 10 times tech, which, anyways. I'm going a little bit too far here. So Hera has not gone for the dock yet. He's going to go to the outside. I'll switch the stuff at the top here for you. And so he's hoping to find a wood line, and he has not found it. Now, part of the reason why I think people go for the build that Nikov's doing is because you have time to scout with the buffalo back there. So when he adds his fish, I think he's going to gather up a couple buffalo, and then he's going to use the buffalo to find the wood. Thankfully for Hera, without the proper scouting, he does find the wood line. So this doesn't mean that Hera won't dock, but he probably won't dock the middle now. I think he will try and hide the fact he's on water and dock the outside so Nicov won't see it. Usually the build is 2 fishing ships, and then you go out, build the lumber camp, and we've seen a lot of galleys on this map, and we've also seen a lot of galleys from Hera. So this feels like a really good map for Hera, because the meta has been galleys. There's been very little deviation from that. But the Berbers have the faster moving ships, and they also, the faster moving vills is really helpful here too, because you have to leave the middle. So I would say it's pretty close overall. I think I would give an advantage to the Berbers, though. I think being able to make a couple cheap knights, run into some awkward areas, could be good. Speaking of awkward, what's Hera's scouting look like right now? Ooh. So he hasn't seen a gold here. He hasn't seen a gold here. He's bringing his buffalo home for food. He's going to hope to find a gold. And will he go beyond this wood line? Now, it's not completely walled off. It's like 6 tiles away. But if you look at the difference from Nicov, he has the buffaloes to scout because he made the fishing ships and found some buffaloes. So now he, finds the gold. He finds which wood line to take. He kind of knows about all of this. And Hera goes for the dock there, and now he adds a fishing ship. Okay. A little surprising he didn't take the trees here, because we actually balanced this map quite nicely because there were lots of tree complaints. And we made it consistent where there's 3 trees per TC area. His res collected is sick, though. And he's Mayans. The res lasts longer. He's had the extra vill. He gets the fish now. It might just be 1. 1, maybe 2. And just the timing on it's a little bit different than what Nicov has done. Nicov transferring a lot off of food already. He's got the 2 villagers on food here. He's got the fishing ship. He's got those vills. Did he transfer too many? He needs to get more food. Okay, he gets just enough. And over to wood, Nicov goes. Presumably the gold as well. And then Hera needs to find that gold now. And this is what we talked about. And he finds it. Okay. Dude, I was just like, what you don't want? Well, first off, you never want to build a mining camp like that. What in God's name is that mining camp? What the? You want the hill bonus on the gold, bro? Don't love the mining camp, but he might have felt like he needed to build it really fast and didn't really think about it. But yeah, anyways, it'll be fine for a long time. What you don't want is for a player to be walking around not finding gold for a very long time as a tournament host, because then they could come back to the map and we can make our arguments and say, well, you had the buffalo, and yeah, it's just, we avoid that mess. Oh, a sneak vill from Nicov. This villager's up to no good. Built a house, walking around. So you could tell, if you watch what direction Hera's vills are going, you can kind of tell what location he's going to be in. And Hera's also showing he's going 2 docks. And Nicov is going to lame this elephant. So Hera can actually see the elephant. I doubt he'll even pay attention to this. He'll eventually look over here and it's just going to be a carcass. Nicov does not want Hera to be able to take that on the outside. Obviously, Hera's got more. We'll see what that vill does in the long run, but it's going to be galleys for both here. So, repetitiveness starts to set in at this point of the tournament, because I say it all the time, but The middle here is very valuable. If you get stuck here, if you do not win water, your vills eventually just get surrounded. You really can't lose the middle here. And oh my god, Nicov is here with his vill, and he's gonna keep Hera safe. He's gonna keep Hera nice and safe. It's a really nice guy thing from Nicov to do there. Just doesn't want Hera to get attacked by any wild animals. So he just walks up, builds some palisades. Now Hera's a little paranoid. Like, why is that vill here? And the villager's just going to build a house. And now Hera gets hit with the galleys. It is faster galleys for Nicov, so he's going to pounce. It's super close. I think Nikov's one shot ahead of Hera. And Hera loses his galley. And now Nicov loses his galley. This is so execution-based. It is so intense. This is not easy. Not easy whatsoever. Villagers still just hanging around there, not doing anything for Nicov. Nice job there from Hera. It's been a crazy series. 2 docks for both. Fletching could come in next for Bodkin. Sorry, not Bodkin. Fletching could come in from the blacksmith. That would be the next step if they really want to commit here, and I see a lot of reason for it. Hera is just walling himself into that back corner so he can simplify life with the galleys. But Hera does have 5 galleys. About to get to 6. He doesn't have another one queued, and I think Hera's about to get housed pretty badly. Nicov is not. Yeah, Hera gets housed really badly right here. So he can't produce any vills, and one of his docks also isn't producing galleys. Just so many things to focus on, right? He'll fix that. A bunch of houses are going up. And it'll be 8 galleys soon for Nicov from 3 docks. So he does have the edge in the galley war, in theory, long term. That's a blacksmith there. This is interesting. So Hera's going to bring in a rhino. So that's why Nicov brought the vill forward to take the other one. That'll be fletching soon for Hera. And there's the blacksmith, which means fletching soon for Nicov. Rhino's dangerously close to killing this vill, but Hera uses the fishing ship to block. That's beautiful. That is beautiful stuff there, because it's super easy to forget about that. It's a bit of a risk to do what he's doing here. That is very good. Especially considering everything else that's happening. And fletching's on the way for Nicov now. Hera's resources are looking amazing. He's, again, the res lasts longer. And his resources are banking up a little bit more to go to Castle Age. He didn't overreact to the sneak vill. I think he just assumed that was just an annoyance from Nicov, and he assumed correctly. The outpost is out there just in case. He's got some walls. And the Navy fight will continue and matters so much. And Nicov dives real deep with the speed. Wow, that micro from Nicov is insane. Oh, man. This is crazy. Oh, man. Every volley hits, and every dodge avoids a shot there from Nicov. Oh, my goodness. Guys, this is not an underdog right here. This is a guy who feels like he can take the game. Use it. How many times do we see someone have the speed, but not really have the confidence to use it? Hera's production is much closer here, so he will probably get a few more ships out. But that was really nice there from Nicov. Hera's obviously able to micro very well himself. Just backs away with the fishing ships at the perfect time. Nicov will actually see the markets going up. That may make him think that Hera's about to click up the castle. And Hera's galley's looping over this way. Nicov senses that, so he'll bring his fish over. Yeah, you can actually see it. Just crazy. And Nicov didn't have a mill yet, so he can't build a market, which is kind of a big deal. And Hera's up. Crazy uptime from Hera. And also, the fishing ships might be able to get some kills. Nikov's running. Hera's behind in the galley numbers, but it doesn't really matter. He'll have the Castle Age advantage, and he gets a free kill. And he gets a free villager snipe. This is really good for Hera. And I think from here, obviously you're still going for Navy, but this does become a bit of a boom game. So the key, and Hera's already thinking of it, is get to the outside and build town centers. It still is very achievable for Nicov to win this, assuming he gets some good engagements on water, because then Hera's TC could be surrounded, and this is the engagement Nicov needed. Still could easily turn, because he's got so many weak ships in there. And Hera will most likely be fine. He did misclick a buffalo there. He tried to click that direction, and he clicked the buffalo instead. Could probably have eaten that buffalo. Nicov is up. Nicov sold all of his stones, so this is an all-in from him. I don't hate that, though. Because it could also be an all-in on land. You can go into knights on this map, too, and just stream knights into Hera's woodline. There's a lot of different things you can do. Nikov's still chasing Hera, which makes it tough. Like, Hera's trying to produce more ships, but he can't get them to the group because of where Nikov's positioned right now. Very nice work from Nicov. But when he sees Hera's up 2 minutes faster than him, panic might sit in a little bit. There's the TC for Hera. And it doesn't actually have Bodkin coming in just yet, but I assume he will. Nicov really wants to take out in this dock, so Hera can't get more numbers out. But there's Hera patrolling around. Look at all these vills for Nicov. Hera actually... he did a really good job. He sent a lot of vills to the outside when he had a moment to do that. I don't know if that moment is ever going to be here for Nicov. T90 is Bodkin or War Galley important? Both. You just get both. If you're in a situation where you have to choose, you probably shouldn't be choosing anyways. They're both hugely essential. If you had to choose one, I guess it would be Bodkin Arrow, in my opinion, because War Galleys are actually slower than galleys. So I know it feels weird. I think the stat increase for War Galley feels better, but nah. I would... you just get both. You just get both. And Nicov, he is not going to be able to build a second TC. He's getting both of those upgrades. He has 17 galleys. So Hera's economy is going to be much better here. Think Hera can lose the water and still be fine if his vills leave early. But for now, I think he thought that was a forage bush. And instead it was a tree. For now, it looks like Hera's going to remain really competitive on water. And it's ever so slight, but it feels like we are set up for that game 5, guys. Nicov is not in a position to make knights. And Hera is making a lot of ships on water. And Nicov, I think, trying to snipe a weak ship in there. Really forcing the issue. Still trying to take out Hera's docks as well. He's getting ballistics. Okay, I mean, this is a big upgrade. Also, Hera is hoping to land a demo at some point here soon. Hera is not investing near as much as Nicov is on water. He'll only have 2 docks. Nicov will have 4 docks. Ooh, the demo did hit. Hera's going to be down to 1 single dock. Hera's vills need to run. If you're going to lose water, Hera, and of course he doesn't know what we know, but you've got to get your vills out, and then you're still fine. But you cannot be trapped here with villagers. Ballistics is in for Nicov. He's going to go on the hunt. Hera's vill advantage is 8. He's got 8 vills in the middle. It's a big deal. It's a lot of fires from Hera. Let's see if Nicov can hit and run with everything that's here. He has a lot of weak ships from that demo Hera hit earlier. This is really good micro. So Hera patrols in with the fires and then dives with the war galleys behind. And Nikov's ships are just regrouping. Ships are so clunky. I don't know if ballistics is making a difference here for Nicov. The ships from Hera are right on top of him. He's like, there's not a speed difference anymore. And so all this investment from Nicov and Hera is completely fine. The fire's tanking the shots on the front is perfect. The war galleys behind have gotten enough. value. Maybe it swings around again for Nicov. Maybe it does. Most of the fires are going down. Hera's War Galley mass is really low. But the Vil count's still rising for Hera. And if the Vil count's still rising, it's more that he can get away with as this game goes on. And Nikov's still not booming. Still no second TC. Look at all these Vils in the middle. They're both trying to take the same berry bush right now. No farms for Nicov. I mean, this is all wood, all gold, pretty much. And then Hera's got the farms. I think Hera is maybe looking for a stone, which he'll find, so he can build another TC. I really think the only way Hera loses this game is if these Vils stay in the middle. They just need to leave. And he's in such a good spot. Yep, just get out. No, it doesn't feel good to have to run with the Vils, but it's the best play. Nikov's got a crazy Vil count now. He should really try and get to a second TC, but he doesn't have the stone. And he might need to buy it here in a second. The galleys on this terrain, ships in general can just be very clunky. So I wonder if that was a factor there for Nicov. Like, galleys feel very smooth, but war galleys just don't. Felt like Nicov, after that engagement, would probably be a little frustrated with how things went. Hera needs to be careful. He can't be near the shoreline. Yeah, Hera's definitely going to lose water. But he's done a really nice job. To me, it feels like Hera invested a lot here. He took good engagements. And now this is going to be what brings him home. Or brings him to game 5, I guess. 3 TCs on the outside. The TC in the middle is now just the research TC. That's fine. And now we'll see if Nicov can catch up economically. Builds a second TC. These war galleys will matter. We've seen games where the water is hugely important long term. And it prevents Hera from doing anything towards the middle of the map, which is... I mean, there's a lot of space that these war galleys will be able to range. I think Nicov needs to use the middle as the farming area now. Because you don't want these Vils to run across the map. Like, it's easier said than done, of course. But I think now you just farm in the middle. But first, you probably need to clear out all of Hera's navy, because Hera's being a real pain with it. He's just giving himself some time. This is game 4. This will be game... It'll be game 5 if this game goes the way I think it's going. But that's if Hera can close it out without water control. And, you know, imagine the pressure of the situation right now. You're down 2-1. You know you're the favorite. You know you've won pretty much everything there is to win this year. Everyone looked at the bracket, said poor Nicov. And now Nikov's up. I mean, if Nicov can start to get some knights out, some raiding, get some relics, like, this could really start to chip away at Hera's situation. I don't think a random Mangonel is necessarily going to do it, but... Again, props from Hera, how he still has these ships around. It's just crazy to me. It must be so annoying for Nicov. He invested so much and still hasn't had this out of his mind. Now, Hera might assume that there's more to this, but he hasn't seen anything to indicate that it's anything more than siege. Hera 1, 2, 3 TCs on the outside. Nicov 3 TCs total. And a really flowing economy now, but it took a lot of time. Almost looks like Hera's about to go imp here. And Hera's middle TC is gone. Nikov's bringing some Vils. So this could be where Nicov starts to think about a bit more of a push. 3 TCs for both. 1 Eagle from Hera, and he can clear this up as it stands. But if Nicov starts to make some knights... Like, also, if there's 1 knight here, then Hera can't clear this up. Also, I think Nikov's expecting something. He's like, hello, I know you're going to come kill me. What are you going to bring? And there's the Eagle. Hera uses this time. A little bit of dodging here. What a nerd. Still dodging, still buying time, still buying time. Now his castle can maybe go up. Nikov's going to move back in. That's why Hera was doing that. Nicov immediately moves back, sees the Vils, kills one. There's no way Hera doesn't get this castle up. Oof. Kills 2 more. Actually, I killed 6 villagers with that Mangonel. I mean, if Nicov could pressure this side... You can't take this side right now. Hera's got such a nice little corner. Could make things messy. See, it just took Nicov time to catch up economically and then get to the state where he could do this. This is why it was so valuable from Hera, the way he played the early game. The fact that he got enough of a lead on water and then could back off. Because if he just got steamrolled on water, he immediately gets followed up getting hit by knights. He never gains that big Vil lead. They're adding more TCs. Hera's got an amazing eco. And Nicov is nowhere near imp. Hera's already like 50% of the way. Nicov will have Vils in the middle super exposed. Nikov's whole eco is exposed to eagle raids. Like, Nicov needs to hold Hera in his base for as long as he can. Make this messy. Hope to get to imp. Still have the water control. Maybe get to camel archers or something, right? Hera will toss away a couple Vils here. And he'll see light cap too, so the monk alone won't be enough defense. Where's Hera's production right now? Does he just have 1 barracks? He's got 1 barracks! That's crazy. I thought he would have like 3, 4, 5 barracks at this point. There's another barracks. If he keeps adding TCs. Keeps booming. I assume Nikov's cab pressure will not amount to much once we see multiple barracks. But there's not multiple barracks, as Hera still just booming like a madman. Nicov looking for more damage, looking to spread out. It's just crazy how bold Hera is, just adding eco in the face of danger. And that castle will go up for Hera. There's still just... It feels like there's just enough. He gets the castle up with 18 Vils. Now the light cav will swoop in for the monks. But Hera could just, if he notices, hop right into that TC and say, nope. And then the castle's up. And now Elite Eagle's on the way. Elite Eagle's really strong with the Mayans if he can get to El Dorado. Nicov is up. Well, he's clicked up, sorry. Big difference. So, this is a really tough matchup for the Berbers, in my opinion, when you have to make lots of knights right now. If you're behind as the Berbers, you naturally go into knights against Eagles. And then if Hera's smart, he's going to plan around going Eagle and Halb. But Hera has been so late. Just so late to army numbers here. You can call it patience. Maybe it's not late. Maybe it's all calculated, right? You could say it's greed. Nicov doesn't even try and chase the monks because he thinks they'll go into the TC. But this is something that Hera's done a lot. It's like, go ahead, try and kill me. I am just going to simply outboom you and then kill you in the late game. That's Hera's thing. Has it been too greedy today? Is Nicov just stylistically a really good matchup because Nikov's so aggressive? Monk does not get a conversion. Eagles get tossed away. Not really how you want to use your Eagles against Knights. But Hera just... it feels like we're just waiting for him to clear up this annoyance, and then he's going to just fly. And here he goes. There's not a lot in the middle, but that's where Hera's headed. The barracks are coming up from Hera. He went from 2 barracks. He's going to be up to 15 soon. And I don't know if Nicov is prepared, man. Look, he's like panicking, sending knights home. He's doing select all stables. Totally relatable. He's dropping more stables here. The Eagles are on the way. And I think this is a problem, man. Hera's just expanding like an animal. Castle here. More stone for more castles. Eagles in the middle. Demo from Nicov. Really nice demos from Nicov. He needed that. Just needs a little bit more time. But there is not a single castle from Nicov in his eco. And Hera's going to have castles in every section of his eco. And he's going to have El Dorado for 100 HP. If this wave doesn't do significant damage to Nicov, I think he's got great chances. The water is definitely a big factor here. I love the demos from Nicov. What a nice choice. Still gives him value from using the middle or having the middle. He doesn't want Hera to just trade off 1-for-1 there. It's messy, but it's maybe something he can stabilize from. Just will he be able to do any damage to Hera before Hera can get to help? I also wonder if it's worth it for Hera to try and go into, like, Navy. Still no El Dorado for Hera. And he is Trebs already on the castle from Nicov. Nicov will aim for gunpowder too, I think. You would want hand cannon with Cavalier against Halb and Eagle. Oh my god, what a raid from Nicov here. What a find. It's like the one area of Hera's eco that's exposed. He kills a couple villagers there, but Hera's got gold everywhere. And now El Dorado's on the way. So it'll be 100 HP Eagles, full armor, and almost full attack. And then Nicov will have 140 HP Cavalier, which is way more. But he doesn't have full armor, and he doesn't have a single attack upgrade. Hera is just so far ahead, it feels like, with these upgrades. And the numbers, too. I mean, he's going to have 50 Eagles. Nicov knows the Eagles are probably going to dive, so he has demos around. Can you imagine if he baits Hera in? Oh my god, Hera just trebbed the tree. And Nicov saw that. Guys, if Hera tries to run in for these trebs, he could lose his Eagles to the demos. This would be crazy. Oh, he's still trying to treb trees. Oh my god. Now Hera's on the castle. Hera's getting raided back here too. Nikov's still holding. Dude, those demos are just waiting. Can you imagine? Okay, Hera saw them though. Hera saw them. So he knows he needs to just fight on the land. Castle seems to be going down. Hera may be distracted by some raids. The demos are waiting. Hera backs away. And Hera takes a really good fight. But there's a lot of population for both right now. Hera does take out the castle, though. Almost feels like game number 1 right now. Where Hera's got the better long-term setup with the castles in the eco. Man, Hera's Eagles are so strong. Nicov lacks defensive castles. It is the same situation as game number 1, but the demos! Hera! Be careful out there! This is so crazy, man. He's so many different things to look at. There's the Cavalier in the back. There's the stables over here he needs to deal with. There might even be Cannon Galleon soon for Nicov. Nicov still way behind on upgrades. And now is when he will have his biggest problem. Because he's all in on Cav. It's working. It's held. But now Hera goes Halb. And now Cav can't work anymore. And now you need gunpowder. And then you need ranges. And then you need time. And then Hera is just slowly creeping around the map. Taking more stones. And taking more golds. It's crazy that this might be the best series of the round of 16. When the other sets in the round of 16 have just been so incredible. The round of 16 in this tournament, oh, what a horrible waste of a demo, has just been unbelievable. The games yesterday, the day before, just so good, man. Listen, a lot of units are going to go down. There's going to be a lot of blood spilled, just like this. But I still think, as bad as that moment was there for Hera, the long-term castle setup and eco setup is superior. Maybe I'm wrong, though. Nikov's getting heavy demo now. Nicov has continued to prove me wrong today. Every time I think he's just going to fall apart. And he clears up that army. He pushes Hera back. Here he is going to lose his ships, though. But heavy demo is a completely different situation, obviously. And Hera's halbs will eventually kill the Cavalier. This does give some time for Nicov to drop some ranges. If he even does that, he may just go full Navy with Cav. Like, I think Galleon upgrade is actually valuable here. And I also think maybe Hera should be trying to dock to retake water. It's really tricky. Because then that's population he doesn't have on land. I love this from Nicov. How many times have we seen him extend walls to prevent Hera from coming through? And this just makes it tough for Hera. He just wants to treb this castle, and he can't now because Nicov rewalled that. That's beautiful. And now there's the docks from Hera. Feels like a moment for a Nicov raid, right? Hera's not pushing. Nikov's still behind on so many blacksmith upgrades. And he's going to go raid. Hera does see that. Hera did open this up with his trebs. Nicov, no real easy response to that, so that's good damage from Hera. Hera's actually popped, so he can't get many halbs here, but he has the castles. And he's got all that stone and gold locked down from the map he gained. So it's just like slow creeping map control. Oh, man. Hera, is that worth it? Oh, he's gonna get it. Oh, dude, that's so annoying for Nicov. That's so annoying. Run! Run, 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 run! Oh, God. Yo, let's go, Nicov. The demos. And he takes the trebs, too. Keeps his own castle up. He can't use the demos on the land, though. Another game where Nicov just doesn't have castles. Guys, he has 2 castles. He's about to lose 1. And Hera's about to go for castle number 5 and then take more stone. Hera going Galleon, I think, is a really good play here. The only advantage that it seems Nicov has is that he can pop out with the demos and hit the infantry. So if you take care of the water, you take care of the demos. Oh my, well, there's a whole bunch of them here. Here comes Nicov again. More booms. Just massacre after massacre after massacre here. Nicov says, I refuse to die. Could so easily just be like, well, don't have map control. Let's just give up, you know, and let's just go game 5. No way, dude. Nicov is such a fighter. And he senses there's some blood in the water here, too. If he can take this castle down from Hera, he can get access to this gold, which will last him a very long time. Here, it's not great, but Hera doesn't have the support for the trebs. So if Nicov could go snipe those real quick, that would be a massive swing too. We now see heavy demo for Hera, whose Galleon number is actually higher than Nikov's, but they're both going to be making a bunch of Navy now. And Hera will lose his trebs. Hera will lose 3 of his trebs. One of the trebs went back. I don't know why the other ones didn't, but I think we've all been there. Okay, so we're at 57 minutes. It's 200 pop for Nicov, 180 pop for Hera, but Hera's got a great position. Is this game ever going to end? Is this a wood game already? Like, after seeing Barles play against ACCM yesterday, I'm already thinking that this will go an hour and a half, at least. Shipwright for Nicov. Now, what an upgrade. I don't think Mayans get that. That helps out a lot in the long-term naval battles. 0 relics collected because the relics are on water. So, that does make sense. Nicov needs something for halbs. This is not something he can justify doing too long, is the Cavalier versus the halb. And I see him making some skirms now. Nicov, is he out of gold? He's got gold he could take here. Oh, yikes, he barely sees it. Yeah, and he's got no other gold. Resources are just at the limit for Nicov. And Hera might recognize that. As long as Nicov isn't taking this gold, as long as he drops a castle to keep Nicov off of this gold, he might feel like he's in the better position here. Hera just finishing the ballistics upgrade. And Hera happy to use his halbs in front of his ships. Cavalier from Nicov running across the middle of the map to maybe find an area where Hera doesn't have a castle. It's going to be hard to find that. But this castle gets denied. And Nikov's dropping his own castle here. So he will find that gold. And that is 4,000 gold plus whatever gold he could maybe get on the left side, because that's not being pressured. Also, Treb from Hera in the middle now, on the middle TC, which is funny. And Nikov's getting crop rotation because he knows what type of game this is going to be. Nicov absolutely slaughtered villagers over here. He killed 30 villagers with the Cavalier, and he's taking the TC down. You know, mobility has been Nikov's greatest ally here. He has just been in so many different spots. It takes Hera so long to get where he needs to be. On another castle is being denied. Another castle. It's the same attempt at a castle in the same area. But Hera just can't be in all these different spots. And Nicov is taking some great engagements. He has 30 ships in queue. So I think he's going to eventually have a bigger navy than Hera. He doesn't have the bigger navy yet. And then here, I have no clue what those Cavalier are actually doing. I am very confused. But he would kill the Eagles if they weren't stuck. Hera trying another castle. Now the Treb from Nicov is blocking that castle, just passing. We are about to see 40 galleons for Nicov. His docks are producing like crazy. And he got shipwright. And he's taking this gold. Hera will try another castle. The Cavalier in the back are just stuck. That is annoying for Hera, though. I mean, it takes him a long time to get there. The Halbs are kind of good for Hera here. They do some decent damage against the ships. So I don't hate that. It might mean Nicov needs to make a couple more demos. But just based on the queue, I'm still expecting Nicov to have more ships in the middle here. Guys, Hera is out of gold. Hera is out of gold. This is like the critical area of the map right now down here. Oh, also, Hera just sniped that Treb that Nicov had on his Treb. What a crazy sequence there. That's sick from Hera. And he is actually overtaking Nicov on water. I think, maybe? It's so close. The Eagles seem to be tanking a lot. Nicov needs more cav. He needs some bombard cannons. He's actually making a bombard cannon here to snipe the Trebs. This is ridiculous. But yeah, I think whoever wins the South wins this game because of the gold situation. And Hera has taken some really fine fights on water. Just purely based on the queue, I thought Nicov would do it. Treb down for Hera. Nicov YOLOing some stone. He's now going for the Trebs. Hera needs Eagles here. Hera needs to repair. Hera's repairing. Nicov needs to repair. The Treb will go down. The castle might go down, but the Navy's going down for Nicov, and Hera's coming in with Eagles. What is this level? What is this level? This is not real, what we are witnessing. They are both playing so good. Nicov has saved his castle with the house walls. But guys, it's still such consistency from Hera on water right now. He is retaken water. I think this gold for Nicov is actually kind of saving him because he's been on that kind of what I would consider for free. Nicov needs to actually settle down, get all of his ships banked up into his dock, and then hop out all at once. But it might be too late on water. Nicov might need to win on land now. And I don't know if that's very achievable. The water was the biggest thing for him here. Yeah, someone in chat saying it. The best they've ever seen Nicov play. Honestly, it's not a crazy statement. He's played ridiculous today. Hera has played his best level today. There's no question. Like, it's been... if Hera has lost, it has been because Nicov has played good. But I think we're still getting that game 5. I really do. I mean, Hera still got this gold. Hera's super close to pushing down to this gold. Nicov is going to go for one big naval battle to try and turn this around. The only thing I keep thinking about is Hera's access to gold. But beyond that, if he has halbs and ships, this could be good. Oh my god, that's a lot of ships from Nicov. just out of nowhere as well. With demos mixed in to kill the Halbs. Oh my god, hold on a second. Hold on a second. What is happening? It was 80 military versus 40 a second ago. It's 60v60 now. What in the world? Castle did go down for Nicov to the Trebs from Hera. But Nicov could still take that gold. I think a couple big demos here from Nicov on the ships. And things get interesting. Still behind with the Galleon number. I think the Eagle Warriors have actually helped against the ships more than anything. Their tankiness has been ridiculous. Hera is out of gold when he pulled his villagers off of here to repair that castle. Which makes the Navy so important. Hussars in front now from Nicov. He's using that as a meat shield. The bombard cannon's being attacked by a plume. Nicov will kill that. The bombard cannon survives to go back on the castle. Hera's pop is 160, but so is Nikov's. This is very winnable for both. 0 on gold for Hera. 0 relics. But I think he's going to be making some. Or getting some. Nicov has more ships in queue. Will that matter here? Nikov's still pressuring this castle. This will absolutely matter here. Nikov's population is 10 higher than Hera's. He is winning this game. He can take the Trebs. Hera will lose his Trebs. He will never get another Trebuchet. Nicov, what is happening? Is he doing this? He knows about this gold. He's going to TC that real quick while he has a chance. He's taken Hera off of gold here. Has Nicov just won the game? I thought he was so dead. And it's just like game number 1. I was like, he's so dead here. Like, we're going to go to game 5. We've seen this all before. Hera's got crazy macro. Hera's got every upgrade in the book. Hera's 140 pop now. Without gold, Hera's toast. He does have 1 relic. But he's going to have to choose how to spend that very wisely. You know, it's like a very small allowance your parents give you. And you thought about how you were going to spend that allowance for a month. Hera's dead. Hera's dead. He can't make ships. He can't control this gold. At the risk of speaking too soon, I think we have another upset in this tournament, and the biggest upset of the tournament, Nicov. He just has to close it out now. Hera can make halbs. I can't believe Nicov came back in this game. He had no defensive castles for so long. He's got 1 castle right now. I mean, dude, Hera calls it. I was just going to say, Hera's not going to want to call it because he has the castles. What a win from Nicov. Nicov beats the best player in the world, the player who has won everything this year, and who brought an amazing level here today in amazing fashion. The stubbornness from Nicov, just so many of the quick walls and the raids and his speed, man. I almost cannot believe it. I'm going to say it. The best I've ever seen Nicov played in his 10-plus year career, and fully deserved victory. The sweetest thing here, in my opinion, is that there can't be many big questions, at least from my position, on Hera's performance either, right? It's not like, he had a situation where it was clearly very below the level that you're typically used to seeing from a guy. Hera, he might say, I could have tweaked this and that. I could have played this and that a little bit better. Of course, that's going to be a natural feeling after a loss, but that was an amazing performance from Nicov. A lot to be proud of. I don't even know how he did it. I really don't know how he did it. Things look so bad. He took good fights. 650 kills, 460 units lost. And the resources collected was dead even. Hera had more gold and more stone. I guess at that stage of the game, if you can't raid with Hussars, right? And you're just going to be making skirms, just going to be making halbs, you're going to have some really big problems. It felt like Hera, the moment I think back to is when Hera lost 4 Trebs in the north here. It felt like he had a good push going, and it got a little crazy because Nicov started to raid him, right? Nicov took out this TC. Nicov was up here at one point. Nicov was here at one point. Nicov was everywhere. Nicov lived in Hera's base, it felt like. And so it's very easy when you're being rated like that to forget about your push. That's maybe what happens. Well played from Nicov. Guys, he tweeted before this tournament. He said another tournament where I'm going to run into a big name in the round of 16 if all things go as planned. He said something along the line. I mean, it was in Spanish. I just used the translate button. I don't even remember everything that was said. But that has been the story sometimes for Nicov, where he feels like he has the skill to go deep, but then he gets knocked out by number 1 or number 2. And Nicov, he gets the job done. He will move on to the quarterfinals. That is a big, big story, a crazy series, and I'm glad everyone was able to see just how good Nicov can be. Oops, gave Hera the win there. I think I'm a little used to that. But yeah, Nicov wins 3-1. So Nikov's going to be pumped. So I know people are asking. People are like, Nicov interview, Nicov interview. Guys, we haven't interviewed anyone for the round of 16. I think it'd be a little out of place to call Nicov in here like he just won a final. The job's not done for Nicov. I know that's a hype result for him, and that's a big result for our community. We will interview people. I hope that there will be opportunities to interview Nicov and interview other people in the future of this tournament. So now that we know what the quarterfinals are going to look like, let's look at the bracket real quick. I am like so pumped for these sets because all of these sets were good. Let's just recap real quick all the round of 16s, okay? So Nicov won 3-1. Leary won 3-2. We did have the Sebastian 3-0. Yo was very competitive. Yo wins 3-1 when it could have been a 3-2. Viper 3-2 over MBL. ACCM Barrels, the last 2 games in ACCM Barrels set were insane. Some of the best games of the tournament. That could have been 5 games. That was a competitive 3-1. Then we had the 3-2 from Mihai over Tato. And then we had Vinchester beating hard. I mean, the round of 16 has delivered big time, man. The sets are so good. The players are clearly practicing. Like, all the hard work's paying off for these guys. And so now it'll be Nicov versus Leary in the quarterfinal. Then Sebastian versus Yo. Then the Viper versus ACCM. Then Mihai versus Vinch. So we've got 8 players left. All right, 8 players left. And the tournament all ends this week.